picked up your reference, Vito. It was a very good Ben Folds 5 reference, and I didn't see it in you.
I'm going to be totally honest, I completely missed it.
2 p.m. day after Christmas, but it's 6 a.m. day after Christmas.
Oh,
It's in the song.
okay.
I love that song.
Yeah, it's a good song. I think if he would have said the exact time, you know what I mean, I would have gotten it. What was that, on some kind of K-Tel best of compilation list that you had, Vito? Hey, we're still doing the year-end comedy voting today. Comedy album, and there's been over 16,000 comedy albums that were made this year. And then the best late night host. Be careful around Chris Stanley when you...
Yes.
He gets a little angry.
He will judge your vote.
Gary Goldman, Unmasked, coming up a little later on. That's live from the Gotham Comedy Club.
That was a great Unmasked.
I found it to be a little depressing.
Depressing?
Yeah. He owns the Depression demo. That belongs to him now.
Yes. He's the king of depression.
I saw another, I was down at the cellar, and a guy was talking about his depressing. And he came off the stage, and Goldman was just like, "What the fuck are you doing with my material, motherfucker? I'll fucking destroy you in this business."
He invented sadness, I think.
I told Gary that he should call his next comedy special The Lanky Jew. You just don't normally see Jews as tall as him.
He's so tall.
Yeah. He's so tall. I find it embarrassing because he's a hugger. And then, you know, when he does that lean over you hug, and
he's so tall and I'm so incredibly short.
Oh,
so our hugs
be easy on yourself.
No, it's true. I don't want to just pick on him. We're both the problem.
You're taller than Juju.
We said that.
Also, we'll be playing this as part of the best of today. It's Earl's Chip Meltdown. That's when Earl just went crazy on Chip Chipperson and just started screaming at him.
I thought they were close.
Earl was just screaming, "You're not as cool as you think you are. You're not as cool as you think you are."
Why do you never call me babe?
Go to iBang, the iBang, and vote for Best Comedy Album. I'm sure you've had a number of friends that have won. Best Late Night Host, Best Comedy TV Show, Best News Stories, Best Hour Special, Best Comedy Book. It seems like the comedy book should be gone, and it should be Best Comedy Podcast.
I know. That's
the new thing.
Yeah.
Podcasting. Keep an eye on this.
Watch
really
out
taking
for it.
off.
I've seen a couple of them. You know, there's a couple out there, a couple podcasts.
I sign up for them, but I don't listen.
So you're just getting the notifications all the
Yeah, I
time?
get the constant
Oh,
notifications.
good. I have about 70 new podcasts to listen to. Not going to, though.
Yeah. I listen to one just about woodwind instruments, and it's fascinating.
Really? Like how they're made? Or
How they're made, and people that play them, and also dealing with bullies.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're not... I mean, you play a clarinet, you're gonna have to run home.
only woodwind, no brass, nothing.
We fucking hate brass.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I mean? It's crude. You know what I mean? Wood, organic, beautiful, sweet. You know. By the way, today is the anniversary of Benny Goodman's death. Probably the most famous clarinet player of all time. So I just want to say, Benny Goodman, you're a good man. See how that broke down that way? And then Benny, knee. You know what I mean?
Like your knee.
And you always rest you. So go to the iBang, vote early, vote often. Comedian of the Year race is already starting to look to be a runaway. That Best Hour Special, Dogfight. Dogfight. Best Comedy TV Show, not going to go to one of the networks. I'm not going to lie to you. The networks look like they are losing it all. Best Late Night Host. It's a shocker, because this guy doesn't even work 5 days a week.
Oh.
Or should I say, this gal doesn't even work 5 days a week. And then Best Comedy Album. That could go to anybody. You know what I mean? I think it's going to go to somebody with a lot of friends that want to win.
Yeah.
You know?
So that means if you have someone in the race, tweet it out and get people involved.
Yeah. Tweet it out. We should do a thing where one of the tweeters could win a Bennington T-shirt.
Yes.
That's too late.
Oh, all right.
Is it too late for that?
No, it's not too
Let's
late.
do that.
Yeah, let's do it. ibankshop.com if you don't want to tweet. You just want to pay for it. All right, what's coming up to start this off, Gail?
We're going to talk to some comedians who are picking their breakout comedian of 2020.
And now, the funniest comedians working today tell us who they think will be the breakout star of 2020.
Damn it, do we love this next comedian. Follow him on Instagram at iAnimal. It's Ian Fidance, of course, picking his breakout comedian of 2020.
This year, I got to say, there's this comic I've really been enjoying watching. I'd say Reggie Conquest. He's a good buddy of mine. I've seen him. I came up with him in Philly, and he's just so funny on and off stage, and he's getting into acting as well, and he's just so talented in so many different ways. It's really cool to see where he's going and where he's going to go.
It's comedian Dina Hashem. Follow her on Instagram and Twitter both at Dina Hashem _. I can't believe that she didn't get the name. She had to use the underscore. And her website, dinahashem.com. Who's she picking as her breakout comedian of next year?
I think the breakout comedian of 2020 will be Dan Perlman. I think he's one of the best writers out there, and he works very, very hard. He was a Montreal new face and has so many perfect jokes. He just recorded a killer album that everyone should hear when it comes out. And, I chose him as a friend in 2013 when it made sense to bet on the success of a straight Jewish man. And there have been some obstacles, but I know fame and fortune are on the way for him, and I'm very excited for the both of us.
Coming up, the Benningtons are going over the best comedy albums of 2019. Head over to the iBang if you want to vote along with us.
And now, here are your nominees for the 2019 Comedy Album of the Year.
All right, I'm going to read off the list of comedy albums. Please hold your applause until the end. And then just snap your fingers like you're hipsters in 1950s West Village. Rich Voss, When I Saw Hamilton. Emmy Blotnick, Party Nights. Leonard Utz, You Hear Me? Yamanika Saunders, Damsel in Distress. Sean Patton, Scuttlebutt. Nimesh Patel, Head Nimesh in Charge. Shuli Edgar, Shulology. Lenny Marcus, Home and Away. Lower Your Expectations, Dove Davidoff, which is the exact opposite of what everybody else is doing when they do their name first. Casey Balsams, Son of Barb. And Chris Gethard, Taylor Ham, Egg and Cheese. And I can tell you this, that one has been very controversial. Just came out this week, and it's they're just erupting online whether this should be called Taylor Ham, Egg and Cheese or pork roll. Now, Vito, you're Italian. I think the Italians say pork roll and no one else does. Am I correct about that?
Yeah. And because I've only heard the Taylor Ham, Egg and Cheese from like my Irish friends.
Well, it is the number one way people say it in New Jersey.
Yeah.
But no Italian will move over into that. They just say it's a pork roll.
Yeah, I would say pork roll.
Really?
Yeah.
I always say Taylor Ham, Egg and Cheese because I know people from New Jersey, and if I say pork roll, they'll say, what? They don't even understand it. But Gethard, this is an album just about New Jersey. Anybody feel like this is an easy pick hasn't been paying attention this year, because everyone is making albums because the streaming services, particularly this one, where we work, SiriusXM, Pandora, is the place to make the money.
Yeah, there's some really, really phenomenal albums, and we have a lot of friends who have made great albums this year, so this is going to be a tough pick. Let's start it off with Chris Stanley. Who are you picking for your album of the year?
The comedy album of the year for me.
Jesus, don't waste time, dude.
Is When I Saw Hamilton by Mr. Rich Voss.
Oh, yeah, Rich Voss. This is his 6th album.
Sixth album. I listened to the whole thing. It's hysterical. He's crowd working people. It's fantastic.
Wait, Voss is crowd working people?
He's crowd working people.
This is highly
You're going to get
unusual.
some of that
Yeah.
on when I saw Hamilton.
What's this? There's a bald guy over there sitting next to another bald guy. Why don't you both put your 2 heads together and make an ass out of yourself? Look at the size of this guy's wife.
Vito, who are you picking for your comedy album of 2019?
Mine is Shuli's album, Shulogy. It's a double album. The first album he recorded completely sober. Second album, he recorded it drunk as shit. And my favorite difference between the two is that when he's telling stories, he's just way more aggressive in the way he tells the story in the drunk version.
Now, when I first heard this, I thought he was going to do the same material.
He did the same material, but it's just you hear him getting off track and remembering, oh shit, I was supposed to do this joke before. But like what I mean is there's like certain stories he tells that when he's retelling this stuff, for some reason he's screaming in the drunk version and he wasn't screaming in the sober version.
Which do you prefer?
I prefer the drunk version.
See, alcohol is better. Alcohol is better. Earl Douglas.
Damsel in Distress, Yamanika Saunders. It's street, it's raunchy, it's very funny, and she has some stories. The one story she tells about the church lady making the announcements and adding her own little, instead of just reading what's on the paper.
Earl, could you please wipe your mouth? There's something so big on your upper lip, it's just frightening.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yamanika is hilarious, and her Twitter or Instagram is funnier than most people's specials.
I absolutely.
So
She's so funny.
yeah, she's just great. Gail, who do you got?
This was a tough pick, but I am going to go for Son of a Barb. That's Casey Balsham as my album of the year. Casey is incredibly funny. The album is fantastic. She's taken on Big Denim. Please listen to Son of a Barb.
She's great, and she gets better every year.
Yeah.
Like when I first met her, I was like, oh, what an amusing young lady. And now I think of her as one of the funniest comics working today.
Yeah, she's fantastic. And
Yeah.
I always love when she's on this show. I always have so much fun with her.
There's certain people that are really good on the radio, and she's definitely one of them. Emmy Blotnick is one of my favorite comics. She's got a great album out. Dov Davinoff has a great album out. And as I mentioned, Chris Gethert, killing it. But I got to say, the funniest person, I think the funniest club comic working today down at the Cellar is Lenny Marcus. He's so damn good. And I've never seen him do anything but destroy. And when he comes off stage, if I'm following him, I just glare at him. I don't even say good show or anything. I just glare like I'm pissed. It's like a little thing we have going. But I kid you not, I just don't think anybody goes out and busts it up the way he does. He's so good. And a lot of that material that I saw him do is on this album. He does. I mean, you would think that you could take something like the subway system and we've milked everything we have out of it. We have not. We left the best jokes behind, and Lenny Marcus found them. But again, you look at this list, I have no idea who's going to win this one. I mean, I'm going to guess Voss because unlike most of the people on this, he's a politician, and he's going to do his best to get the vote out. Do I think it's funny or odd that Chris Stanley would take Rich Voss when I'm the one on the road doing the creeps with Rich Voss? I go, yeah, that's the second time Chris Stanley has seemed to go into my lane.
Yeah, he sneaks
You know what I
right
mean?
in.
Because I'm going to tell you something right now, Chris.
Yes, Ron.
A rowboat should never get in the way of a battleship. Because I'm fucking coming for you in 2020.
Oh, God.
You've made an enemy this year.
I didn't right at the end.
You have made an enemy
I'm
this
sorry.
year. And you'd be better off having Kaiser Sose as an enemy. Because you don't know when it's coming. But I'm going to get you and 4 other guys that have annoyed me all at the same time, and I'm put you in that web.
That sounds terrible. That's awful. I just thought Voss had the best album. That's all.
head to the iBang to vote, and also tweet out who you're voting for. Get the word out.
Yeah, tweet to your friends. Let's get the whole thing going.
Now let's take a listen to some comedians picking their breakout comedian of 2020.
And now, the funniest comedians working today tell us who they think will be the breakout star of 2020.
I love this next comedian so much. Pescatelli.com for all her dates. It's Tammy Pescatelli, and she's picking her breakout comedian of 2020.
Hey, this is Tammy Pescatelli. I think the breakout comedian of 2020 is going to be Bonnie McFarlane, because she's always amazing. And it'd be good for me because then she'll pull me along with her.
Josh Adam Myers, go check out his very cool podcast, The 500. Who's he going to pick for his breakout comedian of next year?
My pick for breakout star of 2020 is Avery Pearson. Avery has played second fiddle and has sat in the background over the last 5 years and just perfected his comedic styling, and it's all coming together right now. Avery, the main writer of Comedy Gives Back, which is this huge charity song for Christmas that just was released today and is already starting to pick up a lot of momentum. I just think Avery is really going to have a fantastic year.
Andrew Schultz is picking his breakout comedian at Andrew Schultz on Twitter and Instagram, and in his podcast, The Brilliant Idiots. Who's he going to pick for breakout comedian of 2020?
What's up? It's Andrew Schultz. I think the breakout comic of 2020 is going to be Akash Singh. He's really hitting the YouTube videos, Instagram, Twitter content hard. He's getting a lot of good stuff out there, and I think he's going to put out a full project towards the middle of the year, and I think that's really going to take him over the top. So Akash Singh for sure.
Coming up now, it's Best Late Night Host of 2019.
And now, here are your nominees for the 2019 Late Night Host of the Year.
When we look at the Late Night Host of the Year, for whatever reason, we did not bring this down. It's everybody who's got a late night show.
Yes.
And I thought it would be fun if we each read our own page, okay? Because it would take too long for me to read it all. So I'll start this off. Best Late Night Host of the Year, Conan O'Brien, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, and David Spade.
Page 2 is Deezus and Mero, John Oliver, Jimmy Fallon, and James Corden.
And then we have Seth Meyers, Late Night with Seth Meyers, Jim Jeffries of The Jim Jeffries Show, Hassan Minaj, Patriot Act with Hassan Minaj, and Full Frontal with Samantha Bee.
That's a lot of shows. I would go so far to say there's too many late night shows.
There's a lot. There is a ton.
Now, this is always difficult for me because I watch 0 late night shows. A big part of it is, A, I've already seen all the Trump news by then.
Yes.
And B, I don't care if you guys are throwing bratwurst through a small hole.
You don't like that?
No. I really, I'm fine with it. Earl Douglas.
Yes.
Who is your late night host?
I picked Jimmy Kimmel because he seems to maintain a sense of looseness. He's still having fun. They haven't compromised the show to the point where, it has to make it very mainstream. And he's still getting big guests. He's still booking the musical acts that they really
to me,
like.
I can't believe that he's not even doing better because he's the only show in L.A. You know what I mean? Like, you're in Los Angeles where the movie stars live, where the TV stars live. You should be destroying the New York shows, not finishing third. Although sometimes second, Jimmy Fallon.
Watch
it. But you're a Kimmel guy.
Still a Kimmel guy, and again,
You've always been, huh?
Yeah.
Your dad was a Kimmel guy.
Yeah.
He's always been mainstream.
no, but not in the sense where Fallon.
He was
Where
like the first viral video of late night with the "I'm fucking Matt Damon" and "I'm fucking Ben Affleck" videos.
But not in the sense that you're like really conforming to like really be like that network show. Like Fallon,
It's ABC.
I know it's ABC, but they know they're gonna not finish first or second. They know that they're not.
So
They're not
sad.
gonna be.
Why don't they try that? No,
I
but
mean,
they could.
obviously they're trying, but they know they're not.
Sounds
gonna
like
beat
Kimmel's
Fallon.
out this year.
That's a unique way to approach your show,
Yeah.
right? Like, let's not be number one.
I like him because he settles.
Well, you're not going to, but the Tonight Show's an institution. Late night has become an institution. They're doing something.
And Kimmel belongs in an institution. Vito, what do you have? You seem to not agree with Earl Douglas.
I don't agree with Earl at all because I pick Deezus and Mero. They're 2 days a week. They're 2 days a week, and they're on Showtime. They're the only ones not doing like the bullshit stuff Earl's talking about.
Right.
So they actually don't conform.
I would have thought. I thought this was going to be Earl's pick.
Yeah, I thought he could have scooped it away from you.
because Earl doesn't give a shit about the new age.
Now, where do they shoot your show at?
They shoot it in Midtown.
Now, Vito brought these guys up when they were just a podcast to me. He said, "Do you want to go see this podcast?" I'm like, "What? Get out of here!" And now these guys have a TV show. I should have went in there in a heartbeat. By the way, the head writer for that show is Josh Gondelman, who did our show, who seems nothing like their humor.
Nothing at all.
It's one of the funny things about writing and performing comedy. It really doesn't matter that much what your political view is, what your, whether you're a front of the bus person or a back of the bus person.
I always think that's interesting of writers of late night when they have to write in the voice of their host.
Right.
I mean, there's different delivery and different, just kind of styles or interests, and you can't think about what you think is funny.
I had a friend that was working on one of the late night shows, and they said they had to quit because they couldn't just talk about Trump for 14 hours a day. You know what I mean? Everything was like
yeah.
just only about one subject, what Trump said today, and they said they started to crack up after a while.
That makes sense. I mean, if you lived in that 24/7,
Yeah.
yeah.
The thing I don't like about television writing, it seems like it's too much time for me. I mean, I think if the show is an hour, you shouldn't write more than an hour and a half. You know what I mean? That should be your day. Like, I've given you 40 jokes. I bet it in the last hour. I'm not writing 4,000 jokes. Chris Stanley, what is yours?
Give me the man on top, Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon, because he doesn't talk about Trump, and the games can be fun sometimes.
Why do you call him the man on top?
Isn't he still first?
No.
Oh, then
He's
man-
second and a lot of times third.
Give me the man in the middle.
The weird thing is Trump has hurt him more than anybody. When he rubbed Trump's head that time,
He gave him a little cuddle on the head, tousled his hair.
the left said, "Fuck you, Jimmy Fallon." And then when he whined about that, and that's what he was accused of crying by Trump, then the right turned on him.
Yeah, so then he had no friends.
He's got nobody, except for old mainstream Jimmy Kimmel. Still nice to him. But yeah, Jimmy Fallon was far and away the number one show, and it just became, I guess it looked frivolous to people in the age of Trump.
Yeah.
I wished he would have went the other way and just embraced Trump instead of saying, "See the great thing our leader said today." Gail, do you have one?
I do. Kind of as you were saying, I'm not a every night watching late night kind of person. But there are a couple shows on this list that I do enjoy. But my most favorite, and I know this might be controversial to one person on the team here, but is Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. I think is a fantastic show. To me, it's the best written show here. It's smart. It's totally different. Kind of shifted the style. I always love that last segment where he hones in on one topic. I think he's excellent.
I think the fact that he didn't stay and take over the Daily Show is the least impressive thing that I've seen take place in comedy. I think that was his show to run with, and doing it once a week, I think, has cost him in that. Well, you know what I mean? Like, it is just a once a week show, so you can forget about it, and all those topics got brought up.
So he had left before the Daily Show.
Just about the same time. I mean, it seemed like they had already picked, maybe secretly, where they were going with it, and it wasn't John Oliver.
He was the guest host for the summer when
and did great.
Yeah, he killed it.
He did great, and then he takes this somewhat of a lazy HBO show, I think, in terms of that kind of a show. That it's, you know,
I don't know. I think that honestly, the amount of work that goes into that show, I think it's incredibly smart and really funny.
I think if you tend not to agree with the first joke of the night or think that the first joke of the night is flawed, the next half hour is wasted on you. You know what I mean? Like, they pick a topic, they beat it to death. It would be so much better if it was a rapid fire show the way the Daily Show was. Because the Daily Show ain't the Daily Show now, in my opinion.
No.
And by the way, I thought Earl would have picked him just to back him up a little bit.
He's a Kimmel man from way back.
I'm just going to pick Jim Jeffries because his show is canceled. And I think he deserves congratulations. I'd like to pick David Spade, but I've just never seen the show. But some of the commercials look funny to me. This one, I guess, is anybody could win it. I think the person who's probably going to win is the one we didn't pick, Colbert. Or maybe Gail got it with the John Oliver because he seems to be the young hipster's choice. But, God, there's just so much noise in late night. Look at it. It's all this noise over and over. I like the, people singing in cars as much as anybody, but it just, Question. Slice of pizza, right?
Yeah.
What is the most tasty bite? Where is the sweet spot in that? Because I was in a debate with somebody about this the other day.
I'm going to say if the midway point.
Really?
I say the midway point because I get the most pizza. Because when the first bite, it's just too small. It's too triangular, and I feel too ridiculous putting it all the way down my throat.
But that's the first taste.
That is the first taste.
And that's what they said themselves. They said, this is the sweet spot. After that, they go, I don't even know why I'm still eating pizza.
What?
No, see, I'm going to disagree with that because, first of all, the point of a pizza is kind of unlike any other part of the pizza.
That's what he said makes it great.
I would say it's softer, and the bread is, like it's a little gooier.
Chewy.
Yeah. So it's not my favorite bite. I would say Chris is probably closer, but I like maybe even a little higher up because I like when you get cheese, a little crust, and sauce.
So you're a
what
crust person.
So it's like, but like the mixture of like, I don't want full crust only.
So
I don't think that's the perfect
You
bite.
wouldn't want one of those pizzas that just is like cut in all those little pieces.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a
the
different
square-
thing.
no.
It's like almost like a different world to me.
But people do it with round pizzas too, not just square pizzas.
I've seen that, yeah.
I don't think
St.
we should.
Louis, I believe, or Kansas City, some Midwestern fucking
Somewhere in there.
aberration. Vito, what about for you? I know you don't eat anything but
Awful.
You mean a
Kale.
cauliflower pizza?
oh, it makes fun of this skinny bastard.
We have to somehow.
I like right before you get to crust, where it's like kind of hardened, and you get like almost like a hard burnt crust taste with the pizza.
Here, and I'm not that far away. We're all kind of in the same place here, but because I don't like things overly hot, and the first bite is always too hot.
Good point.
Mm-hmm.
But a pizza cools off very fast.
It does.
So I like it once you get past the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also believe that when food is too hot, like it doesn't have as much flavor. You know what I mean?
I
Like
would
you
agree
have to
with
like
that.
let the flavor cool into the pie.
And that's a big problem with soup. What are you doing? Just eat and burn?
Yeah.
Or you like
It goes from room to cold real fucking quick.
Yeah.
A fucking bowl of soup.
All right, let me ask you this about I'm gonna give you another one. Where's the sweet spot
Okay.
in corn on the cob?
Oh.
Shit.
Okay, so I would say that's got to be first bite to me.
I think second bite because the first bite, I don't think I'm going to get all as much corn as I want, and then I'm going to.
Yours is just about massive fucking
Yeah,
thing. You
it's
don't go by the
quantity.
weight of what you get is all you're caring about.
I think the second bite of the corn is the best bite. It
First of
tastes
all,
good.
you got to stay at the same level as you go across. So you can't have a bite and then go twice as big. and
Sometimes
three
I'll go
times as big.
vertical and then horizontal.
No, that's disgusting.
No, you got to pick a method. For
Yeah, you got to
sure.
pick a method and stay with it. Here's what I do actually with corn on the cob. I take my strong hands and I break it, so I have two smaller pieces.
Oh wow!
And I feel like that oxidates it a little more, you know.
Okay.
So because a lot of the center of the corn on the cob is not getting the bites, but then also so you don't have to go all the way typewriter all the way down the fucking thing.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I have no problem with anyone who's disgusted seeing anyone eat corn on the cob.
Okay.
I'm not, but I get it. I understand it. And I don't want to be in a place where you can't roll the butter. Stop acting like you're taking this butter back and making toast.
Fuck that shit.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's like keeping
need
weed
a-
for tomorrow.
I need a big glob to work on it. Eric, you're on Bennington.
Hey guys, I think that bite right before the crust on the pizzas is the sweet spot. Seems like it collects a little more sauce, a little more cheese.
Yeah, but you know the crust is coming, and I don't want to have the crust alone.
I kind of agree with Eric. That's I think that's how I feel.
But I want to use that area to eat with the crust.
Yeah.
So I'm not sitting in there eating dried fucking bread, acting like that's a great thing.
See, this is why the middle's the best part because you're getting all the cheese, all the sauce, and I like to take a bite where I get a whole pepperoni in my mouth. Like I don't want like a fucking piece of a pepperoni.
You're about weight and nothing else.
No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
every
quantity
you get,
always.
You get the most at its best point, which is the middle of the pizza slice.
All right, I'm going to ask you guys this.
Okay.
Best slice of a hoagie, or as you guys would call it, a submarine sandwich, Vito.
I'm gonna go the when it's cut in the middle, it's the first bite in there because you have the most food layered on top of each other.
Yeah.
Always most with these guys.
I think it's gonna be like where you can get a crust end.
Yes, of course it's a crust end.
That's the best case scenario.
The crust end is fucking delicious. Everything else?
It's what you live for is the crust end. It's the crustiest and the tastiest part.
I remember when I was a kid, my dad would say, why are you leaving your crust? The little kids do not want to eat
No,
crust, right?
I did not.
And you're like, why are you leaving your crust? That's the best part. And I'd be like, then eat it, bitch. I'll give you all the fucking crust you want.
Give me your middle. You take my crust. Double middle me.
My
Yeah.
dad said the same exact thing about crust. The same exact
I
thing.
think I probably even
infuriates.
said it to my kids. Because
Yeah.
you're trying to get them to grow up and not be a non-crust eater.
Yeah, but as a child, nothing could. Ugh. The idea of just eating a dry crust at the end of a sandwich, forget it.
Maureen wants you to know that Bam got Dr. Phil tattooed on his neck. Just the term Dr. Phil.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right, give us food, Chris. Why don't you jump into this?
All right, what about a taco? Best bite of a taco.
Oh, this is a very, very good one because a taco can be a fucking screaming mess. If
It
you,
can.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, are you talking about a Taco Bell taco or
I'm
a
talking
real
about like
taco?
a soft
A real taco.
Yeah, real like a Mexican taco.
Okay. So I'm going to say it's got to be about 2 or 3 bites in. It's not like full middle because, again, you're talking like a lot of like softness. So it's 2 or 3 bites in because you have to get to the point where you've got all of the ingredients perfectly mixed. I don't want just a meat bite, just a cheese bite. That's not good. I need everything hitting it all at once.
Sometimes it feels good just to get a meat or cheese bite. You know what I mean? You're like, that was a lot of cheese in that one. That was more cheese than I expected to get on that bite. Chrissy?
I'm going to say right now, it's the second bite of a taco. The first bite, a lot of times, there's nothing even in there. You're just fucking
A
eating
lot of it's
tortilla.
yeah,
You
a
mean
lot of
going
it's
from the end?
Yeah, from the end, yeah. And that's
Yeah.
bullshit. No fucking thank you. Second bite of a taco, best fucking bite.
Did you say no spank you?
No spank.
All right, I'm going to give you this, a watermelon, and let's just say it's cut into triangles. Because I say that is the point where the most sweet,
Mm.
less seed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pure satisfaction up there.
Yeah, the deeper middle that the watermelon. I mean, I don't eat them, but from what I can see, it's the richest part in color, right?
Yeah, it's the darkest.
So
it's the
therefore, it's got to
juiciest.
be the juiciest. It
And
would
that-
make sense to me that would be the best bite.
And that first bite of a triangle watermelon, it's fucking ridiculous.
It's almost the opposite of a triangle pizza.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like the very opposite.
I'm trying to start a watermelon craze called Just the Points. And we just got off the point. We
I
throw
like
the
it.
rest away.
Chuck in Boston. Chuck.
So when you're a kid, what was the sweet spot of a bag of Halloween candy?
Well,
The whole bag?
yeah, I mean, you got to say what kind of Halloween candy you're talking about.
Just the assortment, trick or treat candy.
That's just saying what your favorite candy is.
Yeah. So it'll be the first
Like
bites.
if you said what the best part of Reese's Cup is, we could discuss it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I have a very strong opinion of.
Go ahead.
To me, that is center max peanut butter. I always eat a Reese's Cup outside first. I go around, I eat it so that I'm taking care of all the drier chocolatey bits. And so I'm left with a teeny sliver of chocolate and
Do you
pure
bite-
peanut butter glob.
Do you bite the top off?
No.
The chocolate top off.
Oh, you're thinking mini. Yes, on a mini. I was thinking
No,
like
he's thinking of Maxi.
Okay. No, I don't do that on a Maxi.
I'm the exact opposite. I like eating the end of the fucking Reese's Cup.
Really?
Weirdo.
With a tinge of fucking peanut butter.
We could
I like the
split them.
ridges. I like the ridges around the fucking cup.
We could
I
split
love
a
it.
bag.
Yeah.
We're like Jack Spratt and his wife.
He leaves Reese's carcasses all over the office.
What's the big deal?
Please save those for me.
Or for Gail.
So you leave the peanut butter
The
inside,
core.
You leave it
The
alone.
core, yeah.
You're not
It's like
interested.
an apple core.
But
to him.
obviously,
Why
I've
don't you
had
get a
it
Hershey bar, you fucking maniac?
because I just want a little bit of peanut butter. Because when it gets to the middle, it just seems mushy and not as good as
Love that part.
fucking
Oh,
ridge.
it sounds like somebody doesn't freeze their fucking Reese's cups
I don't-
like you live in fucking Manitoba like an idiot. You gotta freeze that.
I don't have the patience for the freezing of the cups. If I have the cups in my possession, I'm going to eat them.
Can I just sing something to you?
Yeah.
Just a little patience, Reese's.
That gives me an idea about another candy bar or candy. Is what is the best bite of a Kit Kat?
Well, I break them into,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I break it apart. I've seen people just bite into all 4 bars of
Sick.
That's fucked up.
Sick people. Honestly, they
I'm
should
gonna-
be on a list.
I'm going to say each tip.
Each tip, interesting.
I like the middle.
Middle. Okay.
'Cause I like that
It's the
crunch
exact
inside.
opposite
But here's the thing.
of what you do with
Yeah.
the Reese's. You see how you make no sense? There's no consistency
No,
in
it's
your
totally
life.
different. I like the ridges on the cup. I don't know why. I just love them. I like running my tongue against them before I eat it. That's probably too much information. I'm sorry, everyone.
Get- All right, this is what I'll tell you is the best of the Kit Kat bar. It's this. There is a center wafer, and I dissect a Kit Kat. So I eat the chocolate off
Right.
first, just in the same idea.
You're never
of
in a hurry, by the
Yeah.
way.
No. Oh no. I'm taking my time with a Kit Kat, and so if you get it, there's a center wafer that has no chocolate involved. It lives
Yeah,
on
I
its
know.
own in a crystallized world. That's the best bite of a Kit Kat.
The flavorless wafer?
No, it's covered in sugar crystals.
Okay.
It's so delicious.
Chris, his favorite part of the Kit Kat is the part that just came out of his ass.
Chuck in North Carolina.
Hey, listen, I know that if you've been out drinking a lot or you smoked some good weed, the first bite of anything is the best fucking part. You got that good buzz, you just close
Science
your eyes,
agrees with
do it.
him. It's some kind of diminishing results thing that the
Right.
first bite of anything. That's why some diets will just say smell it for a while, roll
Take your
around,
time with
take
it.
a bite, not eat like Chris, where you're trying to get the most weight you possibly can on anything.
We had a big party up on the mountain the other day, Ronnie. We
Yeah.
had four watermelons in the creek. I let them get real cold. We got drunk and cut them watermelons. The red part right in the middle. If you cut one in half, that is the sweet spot.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, it looks like the juiciest part.
Yeah. Oh, you don't. That's right. You don't
I
eat
don't.
melon.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
See y'all.
All right, see you, buddy.
Rob in Long Island.
Hey, buddies.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, I'm thinking of a dirty water dog with onions.
Best part of a hot dog.
I mean, I'm going to say it's the tip easily because you're going to get where it's sealed at the top. You're going to get, enough of the bread. I mean, again, you could sell hot dog tips and do okay for yourself.
Here's the issue with it. To me, I don't want the bun is not exciting to me at the end. That's too much bun. The end of a hot dog, too much bun. That's why I will eat both sides of a hot dog first, and then I'm left with centerpiece because it's more meat heavy and less bread.
See, the difference between me and you is I don't eat it on a bun. I eat it on a hard roll. And what I do a lot of times is I'll take a nice big hard roll, stuff 2 hot dogs in there.
Oh, that sounds great.
So really, you're only getting half as much bread as if you sat around like a bun eater. I'm going to give you guys one.
Okay.
You go out for lobster. Where do you want to be?
My gosh. Best bite of lobster. Okay. I'm going, it's in the claw, it's what would be like the thumb claw. That's
the
like
thumb claw.
the posable claw. That to me is the softest, sweetest part.
There's a reason why they sell tails and not claws. And I want a lobster tail, but I want it where it looks like it's been grilled a little bit, so you get a little char, which may be the exact opposite of sweet.
Yeah, I think the reason I like that is that's the sweeter part of the crab.
Yeah.
Can't stand claw meat.
Really?
How can you not? You don't want to do the work.
No, I just don't. I think it's too sweet. I like straight tail.
I don't think it has as much flavor. Yes, you got the quantity, you got the texture, you have lots of buttery bites, and I agree, that's enjoyable. But I'm just saying, let's say if you took butter out of the equation, you just had to only eat the crab meat, I think you'll find that the claw is almost sweet and buttery on its own. That's my opinion.
Look, I got to admit something to you guys, and I'm very sorry about this. I lost a Manitoba listener just a couple minutes ago when I said to Chris, where are you from, Manitoba? RP, let me just say this. I know this asshole guy from Manitoba. When he's acting like a moron in New York, I go, this ain't Manitoba. I should not judge an entire race of people on a guy named Bert. I understand if you leave. He said, you just lost this audience. I understand. You have oh God, Ezra just said that he eats a Reese's in one shot. Disgusting.
Oh, no.
I mean, I've done it before, but I don't feel good about myself afterwards.
Like he swallows it whole?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like a duck.
Like a duck.
It's no way to enjoy a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Look who we've got on the line. It's Johnny.
Johnny, we have a meeting set up for next week. Vito tried to force me into something else. No way, I said. Meet with Johnny.
What the hell, Vito?
Yeah. He threw a big fucking celebrity at me. I go,
we would not bite.
Not in it. Johnny, what do you, what's your whole thing? First bite of a crab?
Well, no.
You don't seem to be into crabs this much anymore.
You used to be
What happened?
really into it.
I enjoy the knuckle meat, Gail. I agree with you. That is the knuckle meat of the
knuckle
crab.
I never called it that. That's good.
Yeah, that's the knuckle.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that you eating a hot dog one end and the other is strange, but that's a whole other story.
Look, I don't like that garbage bun. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get rid of it. Believe me, if it was
best bite
socially
of-
acceptable, I'd go bunless. But I don't want everyone talking and making
People are gonna
jokes.
talk a lot of shit.
Point and stare. So best bite of a pizza, by the way, for me, is it's got to have crust, but it has to have that sauce between the cheese and the crust, that area.
Sometimes
Towards the
there is a river of sauce
Yeah.
that
You have to have
separates
that. That is the
crust
best
from
pizza.
cheese.
That is the best pizza. Best bite of a grilled cheese.
To me, I'm going crust that has cheese that's flooded to the ends because I think that the centerpiece of a grilled cheese too mush.
No, I think the centerpiece is where I'm at. If I could get away with it, I'd throw away the fucking ends completely.
What?
I
Too
can't.
cheesy.
You have like an uncrustable. Like this.
Dude, what are we in the fucking game for? Cheese.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not grilled air. It's grilled cheese.
I want the cheese, bro.
I get rid of the toast like a fucking adult. I'm like, oh, I'm eating around the toast because it's not so bad at first because you haven't been eating anything.
Yeah.
But if you bite into the center, you're like, I'm leaving this fucking. I'm leaving these ends.
The crazy thing about that is it seems like we're all changing our minds from food to food, whether we're pro-crust or anti-crust.
It's very true. There's no consistency.
I mean, there's a circumstance that I'm like full crust to me is the best, just a little bit of cheese.
Johnny, I'm going to ask you this: the best part of a cigar.
Oof. I go middle. I kind of, the beginning's nice and mellow. I think you get more flavor as you get down to that middle part. Then the end, I think, gets a little too tough for me at times.
Sounds like somebody's smoking some rank cigars. A lot of guys I'm noticing, right? They're putting a fucking toothpick in the end of their cigars and using it like a roach clip and smoking it all the way down. Yeah, but these are like $25 cigars. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know, I'm not like you with a Dutch master running around.
It seems like there should be like a swanky fancyman's tool for that, though. Like it seems like that would be a good thing to have.
Like
Shark
those old
Tank.
cigarette holders.
Exactly. I'm like, maybe with like an ivory handle. Something,
Pure ivory.
something sophisticated.
Fresh elephant tusk.
All right, peace, Johnny.
Later, Bennington.
Bye, Johnny.
What is Maisel Day? I just saw Kevin Pollak Instagram that out.
Is that when Maisel's coming back?
Oh, okay.
The Mrs. Maisel.
Here's what's funny. I never hear people talking about it, right? If I'm in a comedy club and one of the writers is doing stand-up and is announced as writing for Miss Maisel, every woman in the room claps.
Oh, really?
Like she's there. I go, it ain't her. I'll yell from the back, it ain't her. You're seeing a fucking writer right now. But do you ever notice? I never run into people who talk about it.
Because everyone talked about the first season, and now it's in the second season.
I'm telling you, no.
Yeah.
They weren't even talking about
Really?
the first season. Yeah, there's where is it? Hulu or some shit?
Hulu, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a hidden gem.
Amazon.
What?
Is it Amazon?
It's Amazon Prime.
We could
I
just
feel
call
like
it
it's-
straight prime.
Prime.
I had no idea.
I thought for sure it was a
Why
Hulu.
do you jump in when you never?
Because I thought it was Hulu. I'm very wrong. Most of the time, I'm very wrong.
Yeah.
Then why do you speak out? Why don't you just sit quietly and look around? Like I don't know what's going
I
on.
feel like I have the answer, Ron. I really do. I
So
really
sad.
did. I really did believe that show is on Hulu.
By the way, Hulu. Last night I watched the season finale of Handmaid's Tale. It is a good episode.
Really?
It was a good episode.
A friend of mine today said stunk so bad they wanted to throw away their TV.
No, they're incorrect.
You
This was like a first, and like it wasn't a great season, but I
Uh-huh.
was like, that was a good episode. It was a great
Wow.
episode.
is
Edge
that
of my seat.
is that the one that has tits and dragons?
No,
no,
that
there's no.
show's long gone.
What's
Yeah.
that one?
That's Game of Thrones, and everyone hates it, Ron.
Kyle in Georgia.
Everyone thinks it sucks.
What's up, Kyle?
What's up, Benningtons? I want to talk about the sweet spot of a steak.
Okay.
Oh,
For me, it's the so you have the bulk end of the meat, but then it's separated by a strip of fat, and then you have that little island piece of meat there. So if you get a little bit of the fat and a little bit of that island piece of meat, about 50-50, that's the prime spot of a steak.
My friend, you need a new butcher. There should not be a consistent island piece of fat in your food. I like now slicing it very fucking thin.
okay.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
across the board like that, and not
Against the
generally
grain.
eating an entire steak like I used to when I was younger.
I always like to save that last very charred bit end of the steak for my final bite, and then that's the one I really enjoy.
See,
the most.
I would use, I would go a rare as a final bite.
Yeah.
If I had to go between, because that's my preferred bite.
The problem
I like it
is
rare.
when you have it rare, that last bite is very cold.
True.
Yeah.
Very cold.
good
You're not
point.
getting the full you know.
Yeah, but
steak
I
experience.
also a more well done steak cold is not a good situation because now we're getting into a very leathery situation.
You're
the
right.
colder it gets.
You need it on a hot plate.
Yeah. G-Man, you're on Bennington.
How about it? How about it?
Hey.
Ronnie B, I got a question for you on what you consider to be a bite of corn on the cob. Here's my thing. What you do is you typewriter it just 3 or 4 times. So I consider that to be a bite. Bring it up to my face, do my business, take it away from my face. That's a bite.
So
You're doing
like
giant bites.
Yeah, those are massive bites. Like you're not even like you're stuffing it into the cheek,
Right.
and then chewing.
I mean, I think
a
if
large
you're
quantity of corn. Then
using more than 4 teeth on a fucking corn on the cob is too much. I don't think it should ever touch a molar.
And I got to say, definitely towards the end, on either side of the end, is not going to be your best bite because that's all where your tiny little kernels are. You
Right.
Gotta go in, you got to go about midpoint a little bit.
But have you ever had like Maryland sweet corn where it's almost all
so good
tiny kernels and it's like white? It's unbelievable.
yeah, and that's like so buttery and good.
Mhm.
Wasn't there a thing recently of the the proper way to eat corn? It was like one of those things where like you've been eating corn wrong. You know how they always come up with those food hacks?
Mm-hmm.
And people, I feel like a lot of the time it's bullshit.
Well, I mean, who's to say? There was like a dude who did a thing, and I think it had something to do with actually like removing the kernels from.
I didn't know
the
how
cup.
good raw corn was until a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah,
When you just scrape it off and put it
put it
on
on
a salad.
So good.
Really?
Yeah.
Straight up raw?
Oh
Yeah, straight up
so
raw.
good.
It's got to be really good corn now.
Right. You don't want garbage corn, but you don't want that
Blue
in
Apron turned me onto it. I'm like, what? I think I'm going to cook this first. And the menu bar actually said back to me, nope. What about this? If you're eating a Bubba Gump shrimp,
Okay.
Uh-huh.
what do you like?
I'll eat I'll eat the whole thing with the tail too.
You'll just bite into
What do you mean, the
it.
shell?
The shell, like the end of the shell.
Sounds like somebody eats like a walrus.
It's disgusting. Chris, that's not meant to be eaten.
It's fine. I never had any problems with it.
You've had nothing but health problems, so I don't know
It's
what
not
you're
'cause of
talking
the
about.
shrimp,
Every
Gail.
shit for you is a crime scene.
Billy in Manitoba. Billy.
Oh boy. Apologies.
Billy.
Buddies.
Hey.
Hey, I was thinking lasagna. What do you think?
And peace.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
you definitely want end piece.
There's only 4 corners worth it.
But I'm really interested in knowing what does Fredo think about this?
Fredo,
Oh,
what do you
God.
think of your
Oh,
lasagna?
boy.
All right, first of all, I don't think we should be throwing out racial just slurs in the
What
start
about
of
your
the
breakfast lasagna, Fredo? You weak bastard.
My breakfast lasagna, I'm definitely going to go a corner piece because the middle is just a fucking loose thing. The second you cut into it, it's just going to fall apart.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of stick and stay to it.
You need a piece of bread to keep pushing it all back together.
That
Yeah.
sounds good.
That's why second day lasagna is better. It's stiffer.
Yeah. And all the flavor sets in. Second day lasagna is, I mean, that's really how you should be eating it. A fresh lasagna.
Yeah.
I mean, even saying that, it's not a good
If
idea.
your mom says, I'm making lasagna, I'll go, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to run out on a 24-hour bender.
Mike in Seattle, you're on Bennington.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
So I got 2. First is a cheeseburger. What do you think is the best bite of a cheeseburger? And then after you're done with that cheeseburger and there's a platter of brownies, which one do you go for?
Well, you're going to go corner with the brownies. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
Cheeseburger is an interesting thing because it is round.
Yeah.
I know this. Let's say a Big Mac. The last bite is probably inedible.
It's
like you can't even digest
yeah,
it.
that's
and
like-
you might not even have any burger in it because it gets crazy fucking messy.
Moving around.
Yeah, exactly. It's slipping and sliding.
I mean, I try my best to have a perfect last bite of a burger, but it's not easy.
No.
It's not easy.
It's not possible.
I think burger is the most difficult thing that we've talked about here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe the third bite. Let's say you take one bite and then like take like
I
a
know
first
what third
bite.
is, yeah.
And then, no, but do it like this though. Take a first bite, right? But then take like a second first
Yes.
bite on some fresh bun, and
That's
then go
second.
and then go into the middle.
Hold on.
What's the point of
No.
this? You want nothing but first bites. is
The
what you're-
second first bite is a bite. It's a second bite.
But I'd say that your second bite will be but it'll look like a first bite again if you ignore the place you just bit. So it's like fresh
I would
bun.
still call that a second bite.
Yes, all right. So it's the second bite, but then that third bite is the one that's you're gonna.
Which
be
first bite? The third bite?
You know what, prick? Look, I'm trying to explain myself here. All right, I can still eat cheeseburgers. All right, I still enjoy them.
Because you're healthy.
Dude, the thing is that I, much like a Reese's cup, I go the perimeter. So
You can't do that in public.
yeah, I do.
I'm not eating with you then.
I'm telling you.
I go first bite. I love the first bite. If there's a little crispiness to it, I love that shit. And get in there. And I got a big mouth, so I take a big first bite. So I'm getting like a good amount in there.
Your first bite or your second first bite?
Second first bite is nice.
Here's
the third
why
bite.
first bite sucks of a cheeseburger, and it's not the best. One, too much. It's too much bread. You don't have all this. Whatever you put on your cheeseburger, there's not enough of that mixed in.
innards.
And if you're like me and you like a rarer part of meat, then the farther into the burger you
No,
go,
that
the
is
better the
true.
burger is.
Yeah.
That is the truth. Now, have you ever known anybody, you go out to get a burger and fries with them, they eat all their fries before they get into their burger?
No, I can't live
I've
like
known people who do that. Fez was a person who'd done it, and I would have thought it was just a weird thing for him, but I've met other people who do the same
Yeah,
thing.
I don't get that. Sometimes I have to stop myself. I love fries, but I'll never finish my fries. I need fries in between eating the burger.
I'll try the fries first. I mean,
Yeah,
definitely.
you got to have a fry when it comes out.
But I'm gonna go fry, and when I say fry, I mean fries. Like to take a bite of fries, it's like at least two. You need to eat two at a time.
I don't think I do. I'm not 100% sure.
I need to.
I eat multiple. It might be 3 to 4. I don't know. It depends on the size of the fry.
I feel like I've seen you kind of just take a fistful.
Yes, I've eaten fistfuls of fries before. I'm not proud of that, but it does happen.
That's his Western movie.
You wish you had a movie.
What?
Fistful of fries. He's fucking destroyed you today, dude.
I mean, he really is.
It hurts.
Vito is armed. He's having a fucking 400 season here at the midway part. Wow.
Yeah, that was a good fat joke because he's a fat shamer, Ron. All right? This guy loses a couple pounds,
Maybe
thinks he
if you
can just
didn't
point
say-
out fatness.
Maybe if you didn't say you eat the whole shrimp without fucking taking the shell off.
I mean, you left it open for all of us.
How many shrimp tails you got in there?
I'll take them all.
Do you think this is weird when you go out with Earl and he has French fries and tater tots and nothing else?
Fucking weird it's weird as shit. He just wants starch.
What does he usually eat first, potato or potato?
Can I put some potato on my potato? Thank you, please. Well, he's getting a hot girl from Canada. He claims that's happening over a 3-day weekend, which he makes sound like it's going to be a marathon sex party.
Whoa! Wow, that is insane.
Earl, you going for a marathon sex party?
I think that's. It seems like that's his plan.
Yeah.
Are you really?
No, that's kind of hit a roadblock.
What?
Did it get Earled?
How'd you earl it up?
I didn't earl anything up. Jesus.
Sounds like you did.
I didn't do anything.
Maybe your heavy breathing on the fucking phone did it.
No, I didn't.
Why isn't she coming? What happened?
She said you need to focus on things up north and you need to
tits?
stay close to home.
He's like, why don't we focus
Dude,
about
why
the
don't you
stuff
get on
down
a fucking
south?
train and get up there?
No, I mean she's like 86 to all of it.
You're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Your friendship's over.
I don't know if the friendship's over, but she just
What
wants
did
to
you
keep.
say?
I didn't say anything.
That might be the problem.
Happened.
Obviously something happened. What did you do, dude?
I didn't do anything.
That's the problem with you, man. You got to fucking move.
I was proceeding with Labor Day, and then it
The night
just
that you guys hung out, did you make out?
no, we did not.
You never make a move, dude. Just like at work, you
Can I
never
just
make
ask,
a move.
when did the conversation of seeing each other in the future happen? While you were in person or later via text or phone?
It was the day after. It was on text and phone.
Okay. So then what did you say after that? Like what What communication happened in between that time?
I mean, it was basically small talk about what we do, where, how much you love New York City, stuff like that.
Can I please read your texts? I just need to know if I can deduce.
Could you
what
let
happened
Chris
here.
crack the case for us?
Like a
No.
CSI of love.
That's just the way I am. I don't know.
What? But we don't know the way you are.
Yeah, we can't
unless
figure
I
you
see
out.
these fucking texts, bruh.
When
Please.
the way you are doesn't work, why wouldn't you want to make a change?
I put so much work in these Bumble ladies, and I send them over to you, and just it's one bad thing after another.
You're better off just giving them a bumblebee tuna.
I would love that.
It's delicious.
E-Dog, what the fuck are you doing once this thing is served up on plate for you?
I wish I could tell you. I
All
really
right,
could.
let's suppose you follow the game of baseball, right?
Yes, I do.
What if you kept having strikeouts and I go, Earl, you got to make an adjustment. And you're like, it's not my fault. I'm just standing there. I'm not doing anything. You see what I'm saying?
And believe
You're
me,
not
I'm adjusting.
swinging at the pitch.
I'm adjusting the hands. I'm looking at the. I'm
you
doing.
turning on the fucking ball.
I try to turn on the ball. Maybe I'm turning too early. Maybe I'm turning too late. I'm working
Well,
on
if you
this.
were to guess, is it too early or late?
I would probably guess late.
You think you're not coming on
Strong
interested?
I don't. I mean, I'm. And I have this thing in my head about being too aggressive.
Get it out of your head. You're never aggressive.
You're not aggressive. Yeah, you're
No,
not
but
aggressive at all.
I
So
mean,
if
but
you-
the but I experience this on a daily basis. People look at me and assume I'm very aggressive, and that bothers the hell out of me.
Okay, but
Nobody
Earl,
sees that.
But Earl, even like you're with someone who's agreed to be with you, so
Right, she already took a gander at you.
Yeah.
Interested in what she was looking at.
just make any sort of move. And
Did
let me
you
see
make it
those
clear
texts.
that you were interested, do you think?
Vito, could you fix the mic for him? For some reason, he's swinging the mic around. He's having trouble with it. Now, give us how you said that you were crystal clear with her. What did you say?
I mean, I thought, inviting to spend the day and Labor Day together in the city is a pretty forward thing.
Right, but you didn't have a place. I tried to tell you to go to the plaza, do something classy. You didn't do anything.
Did you make any solid plans at all, like a place to go?
No, we didn't. We didn't get to that place.
All right, so
So she didn't say like, "Oh, where am I gonna stay?" or anything like that.
No, she never asked those questions.
That's why you take care of it, bro. She's up there going, I don't even know where I'm staying. Am I staying with his parents? Or am I staying at a fucking hotel? What does he expect out of me?
Airbnb. There's plenty of options. God, you could have just got an Airbnb and lied and said it was your apartment.
That would have been great.
cool.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, why isn't that like? Do people do that?
Yeah.
That
I mean,
seems smart.
They better start.
They're like, yeah, I always have this keypad that I use.
Yeah, I do it with penthouses. I go, this is my penthouse apartment.
We got to be out of here by 11 a.m.
Yeah.
Don't worry, why?
Just get framed pictures of yourself, put them around the house.
Not a bad idea, Earl.
Fuck, girl, you
Never
gotta
lie.
do this.
This is good. Do you like that idea?
It sounds like a very, very bold and ambitious idea.
It's not ambitious or bold. It's just an idea.
What, using someone else's place?
They are
No.
renting it out through Airbnb. They want you to use it as
Technically,
a
it
fuck
is your
pad.
apartment
Yes.
for 3 days.
It could be fun too.
Hell yeah.
Just be like a fun romp, sexy romp.
Yeah.
It's like a scene out of The Apartment.
Then when you kill her, nobody can trace it back to you.
Well, wait, what?
Earl, you never gave us the food for the sweet spot.
Mine would have been like a hero or a hoagie.
We already did it,
talked
dude.
about
I was on the phone. I didn't hear that part.
No, but what's a food that you would give to
Personally,
us for
you
us?
never have a hoagie.
Yeah.
I've never seen you in my life with a sandwich of any kind. Even when you brought tuna fish from home the other day, you brought it in a little bowl. I go, what is that, soup? That's how soupy is fucking tuna fish.
I'm trying to lay off the bread.
You're heavy on the mayonnaise, though.
Yeah, I love mayonnaise. A lot of mayonnaise in my tuna fish.
Just carb up.
Why
Maybe that'll
don't you
make
give
more
us
grits.
What's your favorite part of a can of tuna? The water?
No, I drain that out, Gal. I like the solid white albacore.
Are you Earl? Because that's the person that we had on the ropes here. He loves his tuna, though.
He does.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of it.
You should. Mercury baby. He's got little fucking hands coming out of his fucking armpits.
Mercury.
Is he okay?
Earl, give us a food. One that you eat.
Well, see, I'm a very basic eater because you already mentioned burgers. You already mentioned sandwiches.
You're not a basic eater either. You're an odd eater. What's he eat every day?
He eats potato chips every single day.
Earl, you're worried about bread, but you're eating fucking...
I'm trying to get off that too. I'm trying to make the adjustment.
Multiple times a day,
Multiple
he's eating bags and bags of chips.
Is that right, Earl?
I have I have a bag of chips with my lunch, and now I have a stray bag in the evening. A bag.
There's chips before the show. There's chips during the show. There's chips after the show.
Those are just the hours that he's with you.
I know.
God knows.
You don't even know about his Hard Rock chips.
He must be crushing them.
He's at church on Sunday. You see all this chip fucking rustling around there.
He must eat, I'm going to say, 700 individual chips a day.
Not that many, no.
How many do you think you eat? 625?
No, not at all.
How many?
If I had to measure about maybe.
You have to measure.
I'm trying here.
This is what happens with him and women. He won't say what he's doing.
I'm trying to say it, but keep getting cut off.
Just say it. Then
3
you can't be
bags.
cut out. How much?
3 bags.
Holy shit!
Like if I had the
3
big
bags.
thing, if I had to do them by the big industrial bag, 3 bags. And I'm like, and I'm a very
giant bags of chips a day.
not a day.
A family should eat 3 bags of chips a month.
No, I would say
Salt
that a week.
is?
Yeah, that sodium is the issue there, right?
Yeah.
And it's
And
all
I like
carbs.
it. And I'm trying to.
This is why you're fainting.
That's why I'm trying to stop all of this stuff.
Apparently, you're not trying if you're eating 3 big bags a day.
I have not had a bag today. I'm trying. I have not had anything today. I've just had water. I'm trying to watch what I eat.
I saw you eating potato chips today.
I was not eating potato chips
you eat
today.
Potato chips.
I was not
every
eating potato chips
single
today.
day.
I was not eating potato chips today. I have had 0 food today.
That's bullshit because I saw you eating fucking potato chips today.
I had 0 food today.
You're out of control with the potato chips, dude. And you
I
just
had
fucking
0
admitted it.
food today.
You said
I
you
will
ate
swear on
3
a Bible. I
industrial bags of
had
potato
0
chips a
food
day.
today.
All right, by the way, for the hour that we're at, you should have some food by now. I
know.
mean, that's not healthy either.
It's 3 p.m. almost.
I've had water. I had a bowl of cereal, and that is it.
Just water in your cereal?
No, I had a bowl of cereal. I had a glass of water, and that is it. I did not
Ruffles,
eat anything today.
cheddar,
Ruffles, that's
potatoes.
not even
I
fucking
ate
chips,
0
dude.
food. I did not buy a thing today.
You are so... Why?
I am not lying. I swear to God.
But he was so specific that he said Ruffles.
Yes,
cheddar.
that is my favorite chip.
Okay.
That is true.
Okay.
But I did not eat a
And
thing
you
today.
eat 3 industrial bags of them a day? Big fucking family-sized bags?
Not a day. If I had to average it out, probably a week. I'm acknowledging it's not a healthy thing, and I'm trying to stop. Like today, I was like,
I'd rather see you having a little bread with your tuna.
Oh, look at what Vito just sent all of us, Ron. I'm going to show this to you.
Hey,
This is from right now. What is that in the garbage can, Ron?
something I did not eat today. I had 0 food today.
I had a smoothie and a bacon, egg, and cheese. I can say what I ate
That
today.
sounds delicious.
But what I'm looking at right
they
now...
throw the trash out every day, and there's a
Yeah.
bag of Ruffles in
Yeah,
that
they
trash.
take it out every night. That's
It's somebody's, but it's not mine.
Who else is going to have Ruffles cheddar, dude?
Okay, here's the thing. We know it's not Vito. He doesn't eat like that right
No.
now. So
No.
that would only be Chris or
I
you.
ate 0 food today.
I had a bacon, egg, and cheese. Not going to eat Ruffles, cheddar. I don't even know where to buy these things.
1978.
Give me a Bible. I will swear on it.
I
did
don't
not eat
have
it.
one.
I mean, you should fucking swear in about a bag of chips. That's the only thing you care about.
It's ridiculous.
I'm going to say this right now. I've been documenting, along with Vito, his fucking chip obsession.
What?
So who cares? Who cares if I eat potato chips?
I'm just, Vito,
Who
bring your
cares?
phone in
Who
here.
really cares? Like, who really cares?
I gotta admit,
You're
I gotta
documenting
admit,
you're documenting what I eat. That is a sick habit. That you think I'm sick, you're sick. You're documenting what I eat. Who gives a shit?
Can I say something wrong? I'm a little interested. I'll
I'm
be honest.
interested. I normally wouldn't care what anybody eats, but I'm just interested because I didn't even know that you ate a lot of chips.
Yes, I like snacks.
And
Yes,
Vito-
I do.
Vito, what did you just find underneath Earl's desk?
That is not mine. That is totally not mine. That is completely not mine. This is bullshit.
Oh my God.
Total bullshit.
Where'd those bags go from?
I have no idea. Zero idea.
I'm worried about Earl. He has a giant bag of bags of potato
No,
chips. Underneath his
yes.
desk.
Why do you care?
Why do you care?
Because
Sir,
obviously
why do
he
you
has
care?
a problem.
Well, the man who has a drinking problem is not caring about my problem.
Dude,
That may be true, Earl, but you eat a lot of chips.
And I saw you drinking the other night. You were much drunker than I was.
Hardly. I'm sober as a judge.
I have a photo album in my phone called Earl the Chip Man, and it just details every time Earl eats a bag of chip.
Yes, I have it with my lunch, and I have chips for lunch. Who cares?
There's a bag of fucking chips in here. If we found bottles of liquor like that in the office, I'd be
Yes,
mad.
I don't know where that came from. And again, I will swear on a stack of Bibles, I did
But
not
you
buy
just
that.
said this is your favorite chip.
It is my favorite chip. Absolutely it is. But I didn't
Not
buy
only
it.
is it your favorite chip, no one else eats. No adults eats Ruffles.
No, I mean,
that's a
if you're gonna
child's
eat a
chip.
Lay's,
No, I mean, again, that's a preference I have. Sue me.
Where else would those chips come from, dude?
I don't know, but I did not buy that.
Look, I'm going to say this to you. I'm not going to judge you for what chip you like. You can like whatever. But if you're hoarding that
I
quantity
am
of
not
chips-
hoarding that. I don't know where that came from.
Is
I
this
swear
your
to God.
stash?
I swear to God.
These are Ruffles cheddar.
Yeah.
The same bag that was in our garbage can, Ron.
Yeah, somebody ate them, but it was not me.
Here's
Today,
the one with
again, give me a Bible, I will swear on it.
It's like a Costco-sized bag of fucking chips.
Give me a Bible, I will
I
swear
don't have a Bible. You
on
still
it.
stop saying that.
And that doesn't mean anything, Earl, if you're the type of person who swears on the Bible and it doesn't bother you.
Because it doesn't. All he cares about is this fucking Ruffles shit he's obsessed with. Why not just like, I don't know, salt and vinegar? That's personally my favorite.
Earl, I can call Johnny and we can go half and half on some kind of chip rehab. I don't want you.
Yes, I know what my obsessions are. I know I'm obsessed. I have a chip
I'm nervous
thing.
about the amount of cheddar you're getting.
That's
Not even
true.
just the chip.
Too much cheddar.
People are asking if we can put those pictures.
We're, there's a lot, so we're getting them out there.
Yes, someone's fantasy of what that is because I did not buy that.
I'm not jerking off to you eating potato chips, Earl.
Not anymore.
And the other, and probably a great reason why I don't eat anymore.
What?
I don't eat at the office anymore.
Because of them?
Because
Yes.
you knew that they were documenting.
I got a reason now because everyone's documenting what I do
Well,
every
not
step
everyone.
of my
I want to
day.
be specific. Ron and I have never documented any of your food obsessions.
I go out of my way not to go into the office.
Yeah, I mean that's it's honestly a stinky boy world in there
It
that
stinks.
I don't really like to. I don't like to go there very often. It's not my favorite place.
We call it boy meets stink.
I'm really, I'm weirded out, Earl.
I'm weirded out too because that is not mine.
That would
That
be
is
weird
not
if
mine.
It wasn't.
That is not
So
mine.
you're saying Chris?
I don't know where it came from. It is not
It
mine.
has to be Chris. You know it's not Vito. Vito couldn't be losing weight if he was eating.
I'm
these
not
kind of
making any
chips.
accusations. I don't know where that
I've
came
noticed
from.
there is sometimes when Earl send the interns to get chips, they run out of this type of chip, and no one else in that office is eating this chip.
I wouldn't even know where to find Ruffles cheddar. And I'll tell you something else. And I know that Chris is an asshole, but I've known him for 12 years. Never saw him snack on chips alone. He's a big snacker.
Yeah.
And he's eating out of the trash over there.
Yeah,
That's
true. He likes a big like quantity meal.
He has to feel full.
But he's not peckish. You know what I mean?
Oh no, fuck a peck.
Yeah.
I need the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if he had these chips, they'd be empty bags.
That's a good point because we've had things where people send us food, send us different treats.
Dude,
and
one
they're
time,
gone
a
as
guy
soon as
sent a bucket of bubble gum to me because I brought up like, hey, you don't see bubble gum. They sent a big bucket. I come back the next day. They had been chewed during the night.
Sorry.
a little rat.
like 2 gallons of fucking bubble gum had been chewed. This would have been a summer's worth of bubble gum.
And what's even like these are like small individual bags, but there's a shitload of them. If like that, I would definitely go through them one after another after another. They would be gone. I have compulsion problems.
Earl, this is your favorite potato chip. And there's obviously 50 of them that were hidden in a place in the office.
Yeah.
I will show you. I'll show you something else. I got.
Oh God,
No,
he's going in.
Look, I got a wallet here. Obviously, a wallet. I have singles because I don't hoard things. I just go to the machine. I put $1 in.
This is not evidence.
I'm sure.
But I don't buy them and just hoard them. If they're out, they're out. Then I buy Cheez-Its or whatever else is available.
I mean, I understand.
That you only have dollar bills in your wallet doesn't work for me.
I think
I deliberately get singles
because that means he always knows that he's got to have chips no matter what. Like if this stack runs out, and according to Chris, this would run out in a day or two.
Yeah, there's no way.
Not even.
But I also get singles for the Hard Rock because we have a soda machine there, and I always get ginger ale at the Hard Rock.
Wait, hold on. They don't give you free drinks?
You can't just get hit off the gun, the bar.
You're
Come on,
kidding
bro.
me.
No, I'm sorry, not ginger ale. Black cherry.
But why can't? But that doesn't change it. Every food service place I've ever worked at, the drinks are unlimited.
Earl should be bartering some of
Especially
these chips
soft,
for soda.
Soft in nature, that's going to be free. Part of the perks.
Yeah, of course.
That's my other unhealthy obsession is the black cherry, and I like black cherry. We don't have it at the bar. We don't have it at the machines. I mean, we don't have it at the service area. We have it at the soda machine, and that's what I
keep
do.
some here for you.
Well, I'm sure there's got to be 40 or 50 cans somewhere. No, you never eat black cherry here. I've never seen you with a black cherry or ginger ale.
I have either ginger ale or I have Lipton iced tea.
So
or
he
water.
focuses on his chips here and the black cherry when he gets to the Hard Rock.
Earl, there's nothing wrong with that.
And I always know when I have a black cherry, I have one at the end of every shift.
Right. This is not about black cherry.
This I don't know where this came from.
Fucking bags.
Again.
And you just told us you eat 3 industrial bags
a week. I didn't say a day. A week. I mean that would be the equivalent of that. I mean, and again, I woke up today. I woke up today was saying like I was fully aware this was out of control, and I was like, you know what? I need to stop eating potato chips. I need to stop drinking soda. I need to take better care of myself, and that's why I didn't eat anything today.
Why would you take better care of yourself? You're blowing these women off.
Yeah.
No, I'm just not. I'm not feeling well.
It's your chip obsession, man.
Turtle in Iowa has a point.
Go ahead, Turtle.
Maha, buddies.
Maha.
Hey, if you've noticed that Earl has said like 3 times that he did not buy the chips. He didn't say he hasn't eaten them. He didn't say that he sent somebody else to get them. He just claims that, like on 3 occasions now, that he did buy them.
I have not eaten a thing all day.
Hey, Earl, that's like enough sodium in 2 weeks for your entire year. That is a shit ton of salt. You're like on the road to having a stroke.
And I'm fully aware of that.
But why get mad at Chris? Why get mad at Vito? They've taken some pictures of this dangerous activity. They're putting it online. Why wouldn't you say thank you, friend?
I don't appreciate being secretly recorded eating because
But that's like an intervention, really, when you think of it.
why don't you just walk up to me and talk to me like a person?
Well, I know chips have been brought up before.
This one is just from 2 days ago, Ron.
Okay.
Yes, because I had it 2 days ago. Who cares?
Holy shit! Look at all the. He's just eating chips. You can see that he's crunching in his mouth. It looks like. Boy, I hate to say this. It looks like he's drinking a brisk iced tea like it's
brisk.
1997.
That's brisk, baby.
Look, the same bag of chip.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there.
So
2 days ago.
These are your chips.
No, I understand. These are not my.
These are your fucking chips.
I did not buy those. I
Where
did
would
not
they
buy
come
them.
from?
I don't know where they came from. I did not buy them. I did not eat them. I did not. I have zero to do with this.
But you're the only person.
I know that, but I have zero to do with any of this. I have zero to do with it.
What? Who else would they be?
I don't know.
Earl,
you
I
tell
love
me.
you, and you love chips. These are your chips.
No, they
I
are
love
not.
you.
Absolutely not.
Do you want me to tell you, Earl? Whose chips they are?
No, they are not my.
I didn't say that. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
You eat a lot of chips.
I understand that, but these are not mine.
You're the only one who eats them.
I know this, but these are not my chips. I will go to
what?
the grave saying that.
Earl, if over here next to my computer you found a bag of Coke, right? I would be saying the same shit that you're saying
That's a
right
good
now.
point.
I'd be yelling, "That's not mine.
Yeah.
I don't know where it fucking came from."
That's a good point.
And then you'd be like, "Does anybody else here do coke?"
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the way we fight when we're caught. I get it.
I'm not caught. I didn't do anything.
You're just selling the point, though. Doesn't matter. These are your chips.
No, they're not.
Then why are you trying to quit? What would
Because
be
I'm trying to be a healthier person.
Can I
Really?
just?
With a bag of-
I'm going to say this: if you're trying to quit, I would probably get rid of all these chips you're hoarding.
I'm
'cause
not
that's
hoarding
temptation.
them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I would if I was trying to get rid of them. I would just. Cut them
I
out.
don't even. I have zero idea where these came from. I'm
Vito, where did you find the chips?
Vito, where did you find the chips?
These are not the chips you're looking for.
They were under Earl's desk.
And that was a bag.
It was that red bag that they came in under Earl's desk in our office.
Did someone send them?
Did you? Were you? Maybe
I was
this
not
is
even
supply
aware
that
there was-
You've been going off. Of?
No, not at all. I go to the machine and I buy a bag of potato chips.
Don't get high on your own supply, brother.
Christian in New Orleans.
Ronnie B,
Yeah.
you got a problem here, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about this. Blood pressure is a huge problem in the African American community.
Is that true, Earl?
And with
Absolutely true.
with his temper, with Earl's temper, his diet, his lack of libido.
Lack of libido.
man.
Interesting. I didn't even really think of
Yeah.
that as a factor here.
Yeah,
You gotta watch it, man. You're about to explode, Jack.
Thanks, Christian.
Maybe this is something we could call Jay-Z on, like he's fixing the NFL right now.
Yeah.
He's fixed the Colin Kaepernick thing by having them give money to Rock Nation.
It's really big of him. How is he able to figure that out?
Are you a big fan of his, Jay-Z, for what he's doing?
I'm very skeptical of this deal. I'm very, very, very skeptical. I mean, because remember how he was going to help revitalize Brooklyn with the Nets deal? How did that work out? Everything
Mighty
but
move,
the
man.
housing came
Yeah.
to that area, and this just reeks of a money grab.
Don in Tampa. You're in Bennington.
Hey, did you guys not catch Earl's lie of the day?
Well, I had a bowl of cereal with milk and with and then I drank nothing but water. What else did I say? What else?
You said you had
I had a bowl of cereal and I've had water ever since.
Hold on, Earl. This
But you said
cereal, was it Ruffles cheddar cereal?
No, it was not Ruffles. It was cornflakes with milk.
They're flake-like, so it could be confusing.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I cannot believe this.
Please don't take the Lord's name in vain. That's one of the reasons why I wouldn't accept you swearing on the Bible.
Yeah.
We're staring at a giant mound of potato chips. And
Yes, I don't know where they came from.
Under your desk.
Someone put them there. I have no idea.
What kind of joke would that be to buy fucking $28 worth of chips and
It's
put them under
very
your...
bizarre.
It's a crazy person would do that. Or maybe you just did.
I didn't
because you
do
love
it.
The chip.
Here's the thing. I didn't do it. Not at all.
First of all, Earl, it's not your fault, okay? You got a cheddar on your back.
When you do eat them, where do you get them from? The bag that
I go to the
under
machine. I get them. I pay $1 for them and I buy them.
But sometimes the machine runs out.
Yes, and I
Maybe
buy
you're storing them
something
up
else.
to make sure.
And I buy something else. I'll buy Cheez-Its. I will buy Lay's.
Those also aren't too good for you.
I understand that, which is why I made a very conscious decision to stop eating them.
When did you make that? When you were caught?
Space Animal in Brooklyn. You're on Bennington.
Oh, sorry. Let me put my Pringles down. I just
no, I'm
wanted to
starving
say,
now.
Earl,
Chips over there.
dude, I think I know. So look, you said that you're afraid to come off aggressive, right?
There's this perception that I will be on the floor at the Hard Rock, and I will walk, and someone will approach me, ask me a question, and while they're asking the question, literally bristle at me,
Earl,
as if I'm some type of animal, and it bothers the hell out of me.
Earl, I think that's the reason you're getting these matches. They look at you and they think, oh, this might be like this, guy who works in show business. He must be aggressive. He must be a go-getter. But then when you go to the dinner table, you're bringing up a bag of hers and pecking at the table. You can't do that.
And Earl, you
That's a good point.
are worried about coming off as aggressive. But when your two coworkers point out your chip eating and maybe try to take some pictures, you're screaming.
I'm screaming because I'm getting accused of something I did not do.
You're aggressive right now, Earl.
I
promise me you're not going to hurt anyone.
I only get upset when I'm accused of things I did not do.
Right.
And I will
there's
get very
pictures
defensive.
of you eating these chips
every day.
Yes, and I've owned up to the fact. You know what? I have a bag of potato chips every day, and
You said more than that, though.
And I've said it's an unhealthy thing, and I'm trying to stop, and I am stopping. Today was the day I wanted to stop.
A giant fucking thing.
Where this came from, I couldn't tell you.
Tony in Chicago, you're on Bennington.
Hey guys.
Hey.
It seems to me that Earl has a chip on his shoulder.
You know, is this a possibility that you could be blacking out when you're in some kind of a chip frenzy,
Yeah,
not
it could
even
be.
realizing what they're doing?
This picture's from August 1st, Ron.
Let's look at this.
And frankly, I'm really annoyed at this. That I'm like,
There he is with the same bag that I'm looking at.
I am thoroughly annoyed that I'm getting secretly recorded. That is pissing me the hell off.
So, what is this site that you're on, Earl?
I think it's Pornhub.
It doesn't look safe for work.
It does kind of look like Pornhub.
Women taking off other women's clothes. Did you see
I
this,
do
Earl?
not go on Pornhub.
Do you like cam girls? Is that a cam
No,
girl site?
not at all.
Tommy in Tennessee.
Yeah, guys, I think this Earl may not be aware that he's actually doing this. I think the first rule of Chip Club is not to talk about Chip Club.
Could be.
Is that it, Earl? I got a call, must have been a week ago, 3 o'clock in the morning. I finally get to it, and I just hear this. They call me Mr. Chips. And I didn't say anything, you know what I mean? I thought maybe he was sleepwalking.
Bro, we're going to beat this together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's for
No,
sure.
I'm not eating a morsel of food in this building.
You just shouldn't eat chips. You can eat
No,
whatever you
I'm not
want.
eating a morsel of food in this building. Not a morsel of food.
See how
Zero. Donut.
far you go with this? That's
Not a
aggressive.
thing.
Just at least have
You're
a
being
morsel,
aggressive.
please. Just one morsel, please.
You're being aggressive, bro.
I'm being aggressive because every step I make is microanalyzed, so I will do nothing.
No, you got to do everything, Earl, because look, the chip thing, we're going to beat the chip thing. You're not going to eat more chips, and you're
Yeah.
going to be healthier, and you're going to
Do
feel
you
better.
swear, Chris?
I swear.
A lot
On
of
a
people.
Bible?
There it is. Water.
Good. Is it, wait, see if there's cherry Coke in there.
Jesse in New Jersey. He just poured it
Hey,
all over
guys.
himself to show you.
Oh.
Jesse, go ahead.
Hey, I'm just really worried about Earl because I had to go gluten free not long ago, and I went heavy on the chips to compensate. And when I went back to the doctor, I was high in potassium, high in sodium. I had twitchy eyelids. It made me get off the chips entirely. It's tough, but you can do it, Earl.
Yeah.
It's from
See,
love.
that's very
I'm
supportive.
hearing love in the room.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is very true.
I'm just going to drink water. That's all I'm going to have.
Well,
Water.
water's good, but you
Water.
also need food.
Water.
John in Long Island.
I wanted to know if the photographs of the chips that exist already, are they the same size and type and design as the ones that are being hoarded?
100%. And you know that's true, Earl.
Oh, boy.
And I understand.
These are your MO.
These aren't.
And I've never seen this Ruffles cheddar chip in my life.
No, it's
And by
in the
way,
machine, and
if
that's
it
where
was-
I get it.
If it was Chris's chips, he would be walking around
Eating
eating
them.
chips
Yeah.
nonstop.
And offering. Like, I got a couple bags left out of the 60 I bought. Want some, guys?
I guess that is a good point. There's been plenty of times I've been hungry. Nobody's brought up these chips.
Tasty chips.
Art in Toronto.
Hey guys, I think our stress is pretty bad, and fucking lying causes quite a bit of stress. And I haven't seen a guy lie more than Earl today.
I mean, that's the thing that I worry about here, Earl. You're coming off as guilty.
I am getting royally set up. I again.
How would it be a setup?
I will sign anything. I will do
All
whatever
right,
you need me to do. I will say.
I want to have serious legal.
Who's gonna write this up?
Serious legal department. I'm calling them now and asking them.
Earl, baby, come on. You gotta calm down and admit.
They're not mine. That's what I'm admitting. They are not mine.
Say that you have
Easy,
a chip
brother.
problem.
All right, you just broke the microphone.
Chip up.
Earl, why are you that upset about this?
Because it's not true. That's why.
You had some chips. No big deal.
Chips are delicious. I'm the first one. To
I like
fucking admit,
chips.
I'll eat a giant bag of chips too, every day. I love them.
You're putting up the picture of the stuff that you and.
It's on Instagram stories.
Oh, it is already up.
There's a lot, so they're going up. One in a. But here's the beginning of it.
I thought we were going to put it together in. Oh, there's Fetterman. There's Dean
Oh, nice.
The Creeps tour.
Yeah.
Here's the stash.
That's not mine.
But those are.
What's that?
What's in his?
Earl has looks like a knife in his mouth.
Why'd you have a knife in your mouth, Earl?
What is that?
It looks like it was a day where there was ginger ale and iced tea.
Or is that a straw?
That's a knife.
I don't know what that is.
You document all this because this is the last time I'm eating in this building.
Earl, don't say that.
That's you don't want to First, you're only punishing yourself.
Earl,
that
we're
way.
going to eat together and you can take pictures of
we
everything
are
I eat.
big
Healthy-
donuts.
There's gonna be a lot of tuna.
Healthy Lunch Club. Me and you, Earl.
HLC.
Kevin in Long Island.
Hey guys, Earl's claiming he didn't eat today, but then also saying that he had a bowl of cereal. So I'm inclined.
I said
to
I had
say
a bowl of
he's
cereal. I had a glass of. I had water ever since. That's exactly what I said.
I did have that confusion as well because you said it, and I said I'm concerned. It's late in the day to not eat anything.
I have not eaten anything since.
But
that was,
you-
that was like
look,
9 o'clock this morning.
Here's what I don't understand. You told us how much chips you eat, right? There's pictures of you eating the chips, and there's bags here. Why are you angry? Why wouldn't you just say, guys, look at me. I ate a bunch of chips. I want to stop.
Because they're not mine.
Why would you yell out, I'm never eating in this place?
They're not mine. And I'm a little insulted that I'm sitting at my desk and I'm eating and I'm getting documented eating.
We're documenting a problem that you know you
No,
need to
you're
fix.
documenting me eating lunch. That's what you're documenting.
Chips aren't a lunch. That's not a healthy lunch.
Here's
you're, you're documenting me eating something with my lunch, and
But
that
I don't see any
infuriates
pictures
me.
of him eating lunch. Or is there like ones where he's like having a sandwich or a salad with a side of chips? It looks like a lot of chips
Just
and
chips.
tea. Yeah.
It's chips and soda.
Will in Oklahoma City.
Hey, I don't think it's safe for Earl to come off these chips so fast.
That is true.
Yeah, you might want to cut down to like maybe 8 to 10 bags and then go.
Many things to consider, and his level of chip intake is
Yeah.
out of control.
There is some truth that you should never come off anything like that.
Yeah.
And I've done it before myself, Earl.
Yeah.
And I went through a bad fucking case where I was just shaking.
Here he is eating the chips, while running board.
Yeah.
That
Just
looks
off.
like a grape soda.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that
Do
is.
we have that?
No.
Oh, where'd you get the grape soda? More chips.
Yeah, a lot of chips. There are so many chip pictures. I didn't even see all of
The
these.
thing
I'm
is,
furious that like I said, that's it. I'm done. I'm done
You're
eating
gonna
all.
nuke it?
I'm
You're gonna nuke
eating.
the
No, I'm
chips?
not eating a
nuke the
thing in this
chips.
building.
We're gonna eat
Not-
together
No, I'm
after
not
the
eating
show.
a bloody thing in this building.
ew.
I love you. We're gonna eat each other.
No, I'm not eating a
Together.
thing in this building.
Chrissy
Ever.
Chrissy in PA.
So
Hi.
Hi.
I just want Earl to cheer up. It's all right. He can eat all the chips he wants. But I lost my husband for kidney disease on April 4th this past year, and I drink about 10 beers a day. So I think if he's doing chips, he's all right. He's going to be all right. So
Well, there's worse things. That's what she's saying.
I feel sad about her losing her.
Yeah, me too.
That's sad.
Adam in New Hampshire.
Part of a bag of chips for him.
Hey, Earl, I'm sorry to call you at work, man, but do you have any of those Doritos? You know I'll treat you right, baby.
He's acting like he's copying chips.
First of all, Doritos is third down the line of Earl's chip intake.
I'm literally starving for one of those bags of chips.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having one.
I would be honest. I'm interested to know what he loves so much about him.
Would you mind if we ate some of these chips, Earl?
Do whatever you want.
From the Gotham Comedy Club in New York City, this is a special presentation of SiriusXM's Unmasked. Here is your host for the evening, Ron Bennington. And tonight's guest has a brand new HBO special and documentary, The Great Depression. It's Gary Goldman.
Take it as it goes. Take it as it goes. What you got?
This has got to be an exciting time for you, right? You just right.
Oh, it's the
before-
greatest week of my life.
The greatest week of your life.
Since senior week of 1993 at Boston College, I haven't had this consistent joy.
This new special is different from anything you've ever done before, right? In the way that
It's not funny.
Yeah.
This is the adjustment I've made. It's enough with the funny.
Yeah.
You tried that. It failed. Now go the other way.
Go in the other way, but you've opened yourself up in a way I've never.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I think that the first time I opened up about it on the airwaves was on the Bennington show.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Which
because you have
surprised
this thing to make people tell
That's
their
what
secrets.
I do. And I'm also working with the FBI, and I'll just go out. But when you first started telling me you had problems, I'm going, impossible. You're tall and attractive.
Right.
Your life is great.
Yes, I had the same reaction when I found out that Bruce Springsteen was depressed. I kept wanting to just shake him and say, "You're Bruce Springsteen,"
Right.
but they won't let you get that close to him.
No. It's, I think, better to be depressed when you have $500 million. You're like, I'm depressed, but look, it's a nice place I have, At what age did you start to wrestle a little bit with this?
Well, I had it from as long as I can remember, but I was diagnosed at 19, my freshman year of college. I was playing football, and I was so depressed and like suicidal. Like I couldn't see any way out of this because I wanted to quit football, but at that point I would rather die than quit. So those were my two options, and I was ready to choose death over quitting the football team because I felt it would be such a humiliation. Yeah.
Did you eventually quit?
Yeah, I quit about 9 months later. Yeah.
So not too much of a humiliation.
No,
That's the beauty of it.
But I needed a therapist who I trusted to guide me through it. Yeah.
I always think it's funny when people think don't let kids quit things. You know what I mean? They're like, no, you signed up for this, stay with this. And I'm like, why?
Yeah. It was killing me.
Yeah. I get up
Literally
and leave
killing
things
me.
all the time.
Yes.
I don't even know if I'm going to be here for the full hour.
I know.
This is not really that pleasant now that I'm thinking about it. So at 19, I think the thing that's interesting about this is a lot of people who suffer quietly are going to see your special and think,
That's my great hope that some people will feel, one, less alone, and two, that there's hope, that there's treatment and there's therapy, and also it was embarrassing. I remember I had this girlfriend for 3 years in college. I never told her that I was going to a therapist. I didn't even do a great job of lying. I would just say, I got to go see about my financial aid package. Every Thursday at 2, you're checking on your financial aid? These people are so cruel that they make you jump through hoops for 50 minutes every Thursday at 2. And make you arrange your class schedule around this financial aid office.
And yet, the funny thing is, nobody told you not to tell anybody, right? It's something that we all kind of bring onto ourselves.
Yes.
Like, I better keep this quiet.
I need to keep this to myself. Yes. Yeah. Yes. One day, a roommate found the business card of the therapist and was like, "Who is this?" And I made up this story about an alumnus. Why was he giving me a business card? This alumnus. I'm a 19-year-old kid.
Yes, very, very close.
Yes.
With an alumnus.
Yes.
We get together and
What
have sex.
19-year-old
This is what we do.
Yeah. What 19-year-old is using the word alumnus? What are you, crazy? No.
No. That's just the exact opposite of that.
Yes, I'm not crazy.
Very, very sane. But that is the fear, right? That it's crazy the way that.
But it was the first people I ever heard talk about seeing a therapist and being on medication were comedians.
Right.
They were on the front line of that movement about being honest with it, and it's.
You
huge.
know, I think the first time I ever heard about therapy was Woody Allen.
Yes, my analyst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sadly, he didn't get enough. That's just a few more times he would have been fine. Be making movies today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes, he would. Oh.
Hold on, that's Woody.
There's a
calling from France. But, you know, I haven't seen anybody bring this up to this degree where they would have a special based around it, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, the first thing I thought of coming out of it was how can I monetize this?
Yes.
How can I exchange
So you're not crazy.
my agony, my anguish for some money? No, it was my manager's idea, believe it or not, when I started to talk about these stories, because it was necessary to address the fact that my hands were shaking and my voice was way up like this. And so I had to address it on stage, and so I made jokes about being in the hospital and having electroconvulsive therapy treatment, and the audience luckily responded to it because I had a good audience at the time. If I had started off 5 years in talking about this stuff, people would have run away screaming. But I had a patient audience who trusted me to be funny, so that was helpful. But then my manager said, you should do a special where you talk about this and we'll fill in the extra half hour, because I only had 20 minutes on this. He said, we'll fill in the extra half hour with a documentary about your recovery. And then I kept writing more jokes, and I was able to make it so that it's about 10 minutes of documentary footage, an interview with my psychiatrist, and also Bobby Kelly is in it.
Yes.
Yes.
And by the way, does Bobby Kelly have depression? Because I think he just tried to get in the special.
He did a great depressed guy during the special. He's an excellent actor.
But I'm watching it, and I go, don't you mean eating disorder? Isn't that...
Oh, you bastard. No, Bobby talks about his depression, and then we go to my childhood home where I moved to recover, and my mother, the woman who played my mother in this, is
she's
really...
great.
I mean,
She's
you
great.
wouldn't know any better that this woman isn't my mother. No, my mom was just so oblivious to the whole thing.
Well, you're telling some of your stories, and she's just shaking her head no.
Oh, she's rolling her eyes to the director.
Yeah.
And yeah.
But she's also doing that mom thing where you were a happy kid. You're a very happy kid.
Yes.
And then you break out a book that you
Yeah.
had written in second grade.
In second grade, called The Lonely Tree. Any first-year psychology pre-med would say, oh, this is an allegory.
Yeah, right.
And my mother was completely oblivious. To this day, she's in denial.
He
moved back into your home at 47. He's sick. He missed me.
Yeah.
He missed me. That's how much my Gary loves me.
But this is one of the things I picked up on. You had written so much. For a second grader, I'm like, I think in second grade I was still working on the letter B. And he's basically written a chapter book.
It was quite verbose in second grade, yeah.
And then I also noticed this later in the special, you were going through your notes, and I'm like, oh, your handwriting was better in second grade.
Oh, so much better.
Than it is
because
now.
I was being graded on it.
Yeah.
Now I don't care about the grades.
you don't care.
Yeah, I just want to get it down. Yeah. That's so funny. It's true. My handwriting is worse.
Yeah. it's but here's the thing: you have the things I love about those little pieces that you put in is that it does kind of reset the table and go, oh, okay, this isn't just stand-up comedy.
Right.
You know, seeing your shrink, seeing your wife, that whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, you fall back in another place and you go, oh, here's how he's dealing with his comedy.
I thought it would be interesting, and the director was really great at showing that there is a nonfiction to the
Right.
comedy. Yeah, that it came from actual life.
Yeah.
And the two things I hadn't seen in a stand-up special before were, one, my mom. She's in nobody else's special.
Right.
And
So far.
two, the show opens with me bombing, just dying on stage in Harvard Square, talking about my depression. And the audience, that's an incredibly nurturing and easy audience, is just silent. At one point, a woman in the audience offered me her business card.
There was some enormous pauses in there for stand-up.
Yes. Oh, it was
Where
brutal.
it looks like you were just trying to get a grip on yourself.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, I was sitting in a stool, which, other than Big J Okerson, nobody can pull that off.
Rich Voss is going to complain about that because he swears he invented it. He swears.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but then he'll go like this. But Cosby first, but then I invented it.
Oh, that's so funny.
But you felt the need to sit down because you were so overwhelmed.
I was unstable, and
Yeah.
and my legs would shake. I was a mess. I was really effed up, man.
But what that took to get back up and start slugging it out, you know what I mean?
Well, the problem was that often my mood was dictated by how the audience reacted to me. So if I had a good show, I'd wake up the next day and I'd feel okay. If I had a bad show, I wouldn't be able to get out of bed, and I would feel I was finished. But then I read this poem, or I don't know, maybe a motto or something by Samuel Beckett, who I don't know if you've ever tried to read him, and I can't get through a sentence.
Yeah.
But he had this thing where he said, basically it was, you're going to fail, but tomorrow fail better. And that was the answer. All right, I gave myself permission to really bomb and not feel like it was the end of the world, and that was really helpful because this show took a while to really find the laughs. Yeah.
But you had already had so much success before you're restarting this.
I guess so, but it wasn't. The thing is that the Bruce Springsteen is a great example. No amount of success is really going to inoculate you from feeling depressed, and that was the thing. I said yes. I've done a lot of good things in comedy, but it's coming to an end because I can't think of anything, and I thought it was writer's block, but it was really just my brain wasn't firing in the right sequences, and the chemicals weren't circulating the right way. Yeah.
And you were able to do this with drugs and therapy.
Drugs, therapy, and I don't know how many volts of electricity is in ECT, but that was a big factor. I mean, that knocked out the... There was a time when I didn't tell anybody I had depression, and now I'm telling strangers about being held... Well, I wasn't held down like R.P. McMurphy in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. They knock you out, and if you have the opportunity to get general anesthesia, those were the best 5 seconds of my day. Because they tell you to count down from 10. You never get...
No.
Right? You get to 9. And you're out, and it's peaceful. Oh my word! So I had within 3 treatments, the anxiety was completely knocked out, and within 10, I was well enough to leave the hospital, and also like 2 months later, I did that Conan appearance that was my most popular joke ever.
Yeah.
About abbreviating the states. Thank you, that person. Where's the person who was waiting online? Somebody recognized me from that waiting online, and thank you for that. That meant everything.
By the way, I really was upset over that because I went to IMDb to find that documentary.
Yes. You're not the only
like
person.
An idiot.
Yes.
And I'm like, I've
Yes.
got to see this documentary.
Yes.
The bit about it is so funny.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, I mean, that thing is genius. And what I love is the way that you were writing in that special is very different from the way you're writing in this special. You know, it's almost like a band that you like that makes, you know, like Beatles would go in one direction and next
Right.
album would go in another
Yeah,
direction.
well, I've often said I'm the Beatles of comedy.
Yes. Well, you
take it down a notch,
Yeah.
for crying out loud. We're
Here's
trying to tell the truth up here for a moment.
But I was thinking of you and
I'm the
Bobby
Manfred
Kelly
Man
together.
of comedy.
Yeah, the Manfred
One
Man.
enormous hit.
Yeah.
And then the people recognize me.
Yes. And by the way, their biggest hit was a cover of a Springsteen.
Yes.
So we're coming all the way around. This makes so much
these are the
sense
connections
right now.
that Ron Bennington makes. Yes. Well, yeah, it was different comedy because it was more personal and a lot darker. It was a lot darker. Yeah, I had never talked about being recognized in the psych ward before, but it was in my style in that there was some silliness to it. Yeah, I hope.
Now, you know, you bring up the psych ward. This is like, thank God that you're in these times, because it wasn't
Yes.
that long ago.
Yes.
Thomas, was it Eagleton or something, was the guy running for vice president, had the
Yes.
same exact thing
Yes.
done. And it
Yes.
not only ruined his life, but the
Yeah.
entire,
Yeah.
you know, Mondale, whoever was running there. No, McGovern.
McGovern,
They were
yeah,
like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
you can't be
Yeah.
president. You
Yeah.
picked a guy
Yeah.
who had electric shock therapy to be
Yeah.
your VP. You're an
Yeah,
idiot.
But there,
you know?
It's interesting because only a few people have talked about having ECT, and it was Dick Cavett and Carrie Fisher, and I can't think of anyone else. But it's really not a big deal anymore like it was when that was happening. But I really wanted people to know that there are other options, and that was not something to be, because I was afraid of going into the hospital because of the movies and the portrayal of the psych ward in real life. What I guess I want to say is there's never been a better time to be mentally ill.
Yeah.
Much like veganism, there are
Yes.
so many options. It was really, you had to be strong to be a vegan even 20 years ago, and
Yeah.
now it's a layup.
Yeah.
Burger King is serving a vegan option.
There was a vegetarian in my neighborhood, and someone threw a goat through their window because they felt like it
That's
was
true?
ruined. Yes.
Oh my
they felt
gosh.
like our whole neighborhood looked bad. Is what they.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious.
yeah.
It's worth the idiocy of the goat for that story.
Yeah.
To throw a goat throws a goat.
Well, I actually know the guy's name who did it,
Oh my
but I'm not going to
gosh.
say. But
Perfect animal too.
yeah. Oh yeah.
A cow would have been too much.
No, a cow's too
Yeah.
much. You could get a running start with a goat, you know. But the thing is, what's interesting to me is you call it mental illness. And people are afraid of that.
Oh, yeah.
Phrase. You know?
Yeah. They'd rather you call it crazy or
Yeah.
mashugana is a good Yiddish word, but mental illness. I've tried to embrace that, because also people take it more seriously if you say you're sick rather than you're depressed, because depressed has this position in the English language where it could mean that you want to jump out a window, but it could also mean that the Jets can't win
Right.
2 games in a row. That's what upset the
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah.
Bringing up the Jets. ECT, fine. It's light. It's fluffy. The Jets, don't bring up tragedy.
Yeah. But that is true that we all say, oh, I was depressed
Yeah.
yesterday, but
Yeah.
we obviously weren't.
Yeah.
We were a little
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah.
You know, a little sad.
I remember asking out a girl to the semi-formal when I was a sophomore in college, and she said she had been depressed because nobody had asked her, and I was about to say, oh, you mean you wanted to jump out of the dorm?
Yeah.
Over this? You
Yeah.
hadn't left the dorm room for 6 straight days and can't shower?
No.
Not the same.
Yeah.
Not the same.
I'm wondering why your school had a semi-formal. Why not go all the way? I feel You know what I mean? Where it was
There was
a recession going on. What would happen?
There was one formal in 4 years. There was one tuxedo affair, and the rest were semi-formal, where you would wear a suit and tie. At Boston College, which I was so disappointed in these Catholics.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the drinking, the sex, the swearing. They just. Oh, what a letdown.
That you were the lonely tree at Boston.
Wow.
By the way, trees are what the Catholic calls Jews. It's, some of you know it's a code word we have.
Had the Jews embraced Jesus?
Yeah.
What a different story for us.
No kidding. You had him first. He was yours.
He was. Would it have killed us to embrace it certainly killed us not to embrace Jesus.
It really didn't work out well.
Right.
You know? And he, like I said, he was right there. It's like when the Mavericks let Steve Nash go. You're like, what are you, fucking crazy? How do you not realize how good he is?
It's the perfect analogy.
Yeah, thank you.
For fans of early millennium NBA.
Yeah.
Steve Nash is the Jesus.
But you know, it's not too late to jump on board whenever you want.
No, it's not.
Because somehow, over my lifetime, Christians just turned out to love Israel. I don't know what happened, but they're crazy about it.
I was actually, my wife's mother is evangelical. I went on Christmas Eve, and at one point I raised my hand to be a part of these things, and I guess they asked me if I wanted to accept Jesus Christ.
Yes.
And so I wanted to be. Everybody was raising their hands, and I'm not making this up. They took me into a room and gave me a whole speech and welcomed me.
Yeah.
And so I never did anything to disavow it. So I think I am born again.
Yes.
And it was not as effective as ECT.
No. I've never heard anyone get accidentally born again. This is really...
I just ask my wife. I raised my hand at the wrong point to be a joiner, and then they ushered me into a room and called me every Tuesday at 3 to check on how I was doing, and then I just stopped accepting any call from New Jersey.
Right.
So I'll apologize to Rich and Bonnie.
No. You brought up your wife, and you have her in the documentary.
Well, we needed diversity.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But as I was watching her, I'm thinking, oh my God, what did this poor woman go through?
We had been together for 6 months when I fell apart, and she stuck with me through 2.5 years of treatment in and out of the hospital. And now she's so grateful. She said that it feels like HBO has put us on a Make-A-Wish.
That's fun, isn't it?
It's
now
really fun. Yeah. So now I can never pay her back for what she did, but my word, that if it was a test, it was the greatest test of all time.
See, I'm sure a lot of people here have been caregivers in one way or another. And I think it brings out the best and worst in human beings. And, you know, my radio partner for years struggled with all different kinds of stuff. And when I was going through some of it, I'm like, oh, I know. This is how some people end up just killing their grandparents. You know what I mean? You get to a point where, just like Big Chief, you're going to put that pillow over their face. Yeah.
Ron Bennington, you are brilliant.
Yes, yes.
I don't know if you guys have seen. I don't know if you guys have seen his stand-up, But he took a long break from stand-up.
20-some years.
20-some years. Okay. And he didn't ask me to say this. And so I thought, oh, he's going to be another one of these guys who's trying to cash in on their stand-up, and it's going to be really dated and 80s and schmaltzy. And I watched him. I was like, son of a bitch. You shouldn't be able to take off 2 decades and come back. And it's because it's not like riding a bike. It's difficult. And we see a lot of guys who take a lot of time off, like 8 weeks. And it's like, no, the artist passed you by, kid. Sorry about that. You missed the move.
By the way, I never know whether your compliments are part of your mental illness or because did you ever hear that Brenner bit about the first time he did the Tonight Show? He gets on the subway in New York, and a guy looks at him and goes, "You're funny." And he's like, "Thank you very much. It was amazing to get that chance to work to Johnny." And then the guy looks at the next guy and goes, "You're funny." All the way down the train. It's one of the greatest fucking bits.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
He was my first favorite comedian. I mean, he was my comedian. I watched him as a 7 years old, maybe earlier, on Carson when he would host, and I just loved him.
Yeah, he did.
He was magic.
He did that thing when there was only like 7 comics. He just carried this huge load.
Yes.
You would just see him on TV shows everywhere.
Yes.
He came on this show and we talked for a while, and I know that you're a fan. But this is the thing about Brenner, and it reminds me of you, because you're both known as nice guys, but both of you are take no shit people. And people don't realize it about Brenner. He'd come after you like a, and you...
Somebody once stole boxing tickets from him in New York City, and he chased them and got them back. Yeah.
But you have the same reputation. You don't like rudeness, and you don't like bullying and stuff like that.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can be short-tempered because I get irritable. Yeah, and I'm incredibly sensitive, which doesn't fit my majestic physique. But
right.
I always find it funny that the comedians talk about the audience as being sensitive. I am so sensitive. Just a little thing during the day, the person on the subway with the bike, you know how the bike takes up the whole thing?
Yeah.
And there's a stop. They should make an adjustment to where the bike is because you're blocking a third of the people trying to get out. And I say, excuse me, and they'll turn the front this way, and I'm yelling. Oh, that was helpful.
Yeah.
That was helpful. Now, what do you want me to hurdle this? Too sensitive.
So, but you don't know what's going to give you that little moment that you feel like you're going to be the social justice.
Well, I think it's any time I'm replaying something from my childhood where if somebody heckles me in the crowd, that's my brothers pointing out where I've hidden the coin during my magic act in front of the entire family on Passover. So that they're yelling something out before I get to the punchline, and then all of a sudden it's my older brother saying, "Check his other sleeve." It infuriates me.
Yeah. Well, at least you haven't held on to it too long. That's the important thing.
Every show, I have to tell myself, this is not your brother. These people are rooting for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is that thing that kind of makes you unique, and that's the weird thing I think about stand-up comedy is the thing that makes you the lonely tree at one point in your life is the thing that you're like, okay, I've got this piece for myself.
And also comedians are people who are very open off stage about their struggles with addiction and mental illness and things like that. So I felt at home with these people almost right away, and much more than I did with my teammates in football or the accountants I worked with at PricewaterhouseCoopers.
Yeah.
That was my first job out of college, and I just, if the numbers were close, check.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated it. I hated it. There was one time I had to do inventory at a Marshall's, and you just had to count up to a number of dollars. So it was like, we need $1,000 in this section. And I said, well, there's a leather jacket over there.
Right.
That's $1,000.
Boom.
One. I'm going on break. I was the worst.
When I was a kid, I was a night auditor in a hotel, and I did it just good enough to learn to steal. And I think
yes, because you can cover your tracks.
Yeah, I made more money then than I'm making now at 18 years old.
Was it a Hyatt?
No, it was next to a racetrack.
Okay. Oh,
and
perfect.
I would remember the old cash registers where you would have to Z it out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I would Z it out, sell a room, pocket that, and then start the new day.
Brilliant.
I had that every single night. Plus, I was renting dirty rooms to college kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is a brilliant embezzling scheme.
Yes.
And what's the statute of limitations?
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I think it's all gone now. I think it's all right. Plus, this is comedy. What I'm saying right now is a made-up routine.
Oh, Ron Bennington.
About people who steal.
I could watch you interview nobodies.
Yeah.
All day long.
Well, let me.
I always feel like this is going to be the one that makes the show jump the shark.
No.
They unmasked Gullman.
I told somebody we were doing this, and they went, "Why?" And I
go, "Please tell me who that was." It's so funny.
It's Dan Soder. I'll just say that. I had to promise him one. But what made you get up and do stand-up the first time? Because you're this kid that's not all that comfortable. And
right. I think I used to go to comedy shows when I was in high school, and the way I looked at those guys like Don Gavin in Boston and Lenny Clark and Paul D'Angelo, I would look at them and I admired them so much, and the way the audience looked at them, I said, if I could do that, man, that would be fun. That would be a lot safer than running over the middle to catch a football and get gang tackled. I don't need that. I don't know how there hasn't been a player who, after getting hit, hasn't just cried. I always think that in UFC, if they just went out there and hugged each other to begin, that one of them would start weeping like Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting, where it's just, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. So I remember going to see a show on New Year's Eve in 1993, so 92, 93, and December 31st into January 1st, and saying, this is going to be the year I'm going to try this, because if this is something I can do, why would anybody do anything else? And then I tried it for the first time in October of 93, and it felt so good. It was exhilarating, and I was okay at it, and then it became my lifelong obsession.
But were you the funny kid with your friends, or?
Yeah. I was pretty funny. I was witty, and I was good at memorizing jokes that I heard on albums and then retelling them, and I could do the basic impressions, the Saturday Night Live characters, and then later on I tried to be not the class clown, but I tried to make the other kids laugh, and it was very there's definitely a self-medicating to getting strangers to laugh at you. There's like a dopamine hit you get when you get laughs.
It's almost embarrassing, right? It's
right?
almost
yeah.
Like if you have a flu, you can get up, you kill, you feel
Yes.
great. You're like, oh God, what is wrong with me
Yes.
that I let strangers' approval
I know.
push a disease out of
Yes.
my? But it's crazy.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
No.
But,
You're we prefer mentally ill now. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Imagine if I was sensitive about that.
Yeah.
And I shut down for the rest of the show and just glared at you. What happened? He said crazy.
Yeah. But don't you like the way the Brits say mental instead of
Oh,
crazy?
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, he's completely mental.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that sounds fun.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That sounds
No,
nice.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yes, crikey.
So many great people came out of Boston, though. I mean, it's and still,
I
still
know.
happening.
It's really something. I don't know why. I think it might just be the level of competition there to get on stage that only the top comedians are able to get through that. But yeah, it's really something I'm very, very proud of.
It also, a lot of people that come out of Boston are so unique to themselves. Like, a lot of times when you see people coming out of one town, they're very, very similar style.
Right.
But everybody from Boston has that thing about finding out.
Yeah, I think that came from. I mean, you were friends with Barry Crimmins,
Very
right?
good,
Yeah, Barry was sort of he and Lenny were sort of the godfathers of Boston comedy, and they were insistent on you not sounding like anyone else. So that I think so. Stephen Wright was one of those people, and then later Bobcat and Dana Gould and all these guys were original. So they were sort of that attitude that you had to be different, and also in order to stand out with all those guys who were killing. I mean, I would be on shows with Bobby Kelly, Dane Cook, Patrice O'Neill, and Bill Burr, and to stand out, you couldn't just go up there and try to do what they did. So it really forced you to be different, to be original, to adjust the even the speed with which you told the jokes. These guys went fast.
Yeah. So that was pretty much your class, those guys?
Those guys were a year and a half, 2 years ahead of me, so I would be the MC or the opener, and then those guys would go up and blow the headliner off the stage. They were so strong. They were really special. Right away, you could tell. I mean, a year and a half, 2 years is not a long time to be doing stand-up, and for them to be that powerful at that point was really remarkable.
And then everybody kind of came down to New York together, or?
Yeah, I think those guys came down to New York right around 95 or 96.
Yeah.
And then I came for 2 months in 97 and slept on Joe Matarice's couch in Queens and couldn't get on stage. And immediately, 2 months in, just ran back to Boston and started working on getting up as much as possible, because it was that was the thing that was so tough in New York, was it was hard to get on stage for somebody who was unknown at that point. Yeah.
I think it's and that's still very true, which is that you don't meet those guys, but there's so many kids who have been here for like 10 years before they get to the Stand or the Cellar or Gotham here.
Yes.
Yes.
I always tell people, if you can get on stage a lot where you are, stay there until New York or LA comes calling, because the stage time is the most important. Your success is the function of how often you're getting on stage.
By the way, I'm just thinking about you being a sensitive kid, and there you are sitting in between Bill Burr and Patrice O'Neill. Sounds like a nightmare.
I remember one time, and I guess we can bleep this out if it's too vulgar, but Patrice O'Neill asked me, and I didn't know him, not even to say hello. I'd only been on stage like 2 or 3 times, and I walked in the back of Nick's, and he must have been having a discussion about this, and he said, "You eat ass?" And now I would laugh, or I would take it in stride, and at the time I had been a football player, and I knew you didn't want to get punked your first day of practice. So I told him that nobody talked that way to me, and if he wanted to step outside. And then
I told you he has a reputation for not taking any shit, but I didn't think in that.
But let me just say this in my defense. People weren't talking about ass eating with any kind of frequency in 1993. Sure, now they're talking about it on Good Morning America, but at the time... At the time, it was a taboo subject. I was horrified by this. And who asks a stranger?
Yeah.
These are different people.
If it comes up again, the answer is always yes, and then move on. Like, yeah. So that is.
Are we gonna have to bleep that because?
Hold on, I'm gonna check. Yeah, it's already gone.
All right.
It's they took it out. Yeah.
Bummer.
No, that's hilarious. And I thought I heard every Patrice O'Neill story.
It's a good
there
Patrice
was, but
O'Neill
there's
story.
always new ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't tell it that often because it makes me look like a prude or something like that.
Yes, that's how I thought of you doing that story.
Yeah.
I'm going, look
Yeah.
at this little gentleman.
Like, how dare you? I'm clutching my pearls, mopping my brow. I think he was actually, it was kind of like a greeting. Like
Yes.
I was being invited into the conversation.
Yeah.
We're discussing this. I mean, it was Bobby Kelly and probably a couple of other degenerates back there discussing this. And
I'm going to say Bobby was definitely on board. But this is also one of the big ways that the world has changed is that black guys always used to ask about any kind of oral stuff years ago. It wasn't.
Oh, that's in True Romance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it's a big argument. And the guy gets shot with a shotgun.
Yeah. And I think that guy's Sam Jackson, if I'm not wrong, or maybe I'm.
Sam Jackson does get shot with a shotgun, but Sam Jackson said that he'll eat anything.
Oh yeah, that's
It
right.
was his
When
partner
you're high
who
on
was
Sherm.
who was averse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Sherm.
So that's been. I think the big change there has been Pornhub has educated an
We didn't
entire.
have Pornhub.
Yeah.
That's so true.
It's educated an entire generation.
Oh, that's
but that was the crew that you ran with, and then I think the first time that I saw you was during that tour with Dane.
Oh yeah,
Cook.
yeah, yeah.
That
With
was-
Bobby Kelly. Yes.
Yeah, with Bobby.
Yes, on HBO. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that had to feel like okay, life has changed a little bit, right?
Well, I had done Last Comic Standing the year prior,
yeah.
and that was the first time I ever got recognized on the street and things. So that was really cool. But what they don't tell you is that that's only going to last for 3 months, and then the coach is going to turn back into a pumpkin, and you know how you were complaining that you can't go anywhere. You're gonna wish you could not go anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's
Guess what?
yeah,
You can go places anywhere you want.
Yeah. It was that was really fun. And then we did the tour guest. We didn't know it was going to be on HBO, so that was just otherwise we would have asked for more money. But yeah, that was really fun. So that was actually the first time I was on HBO, but it wasn't really I wasn't on a billboard.
Right, now you got billboards on
Yeah.
both coasts, I've noticed.
Yes.
Nothing in Chicago?
No, I don't know.
Sad.
I don't know. I know. What if I complained about that?
Yeah.
These are champagne problems. Like I had they got me a stylist to help me pick out clothes.
Yeah.
The guy completely flaked, and I had to shop myself on the morning of Conan. And I was about to complain to somebody, and I was like, nobody wants to hear you complain about a stylist flaking, asshole. Yeah. Yeah. It was a really good wake up call. How. Yeah.
I know you got a tour coming up too, right?
Yes.
You're doing a tour.
Yes.
And playing what size places?
Like 600 to 1,500 seat
That's
theaters.
great,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. It's really a big difference from the side splitters in Tampa.
Yeah. Somebody just went, it's great. It's a great club. Yeah, any club's great if they let you smoke. And smoke Sherm. But here's what I'm wondering it's going to happen, that you're going to get out and you're going to have an audience of people who share your depression.
Yeah.
You know, and whether it's going to be certain nights, you're just like, I don't know if I can get these guys going. You know,
Well,
they're
that's-
all
that's-
little blue.
That's a great point. Luckily, I don't have to tour this time with the depression material. So I've got a new hour, so I don't have to talk about these things. But it will, I think people will expect to be cured from seeing me live. Yes, those will be the expectations, and I won't be able to meet them. But one thing that should be interesting is the meet and greets. The tone may change.
Yes.
Yes.
as well as the heckles. I'm sure you're going to get people, don't you hate rainy days? And you're like, we'll get to that, okay? We'll get to that.
Yes. What dosage of Wellbutrin are you on right now? Yes.
Well, you did go through a thing, and it really kind of shook me a little bit with every drug that you've done.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There were like 20 antidepressants and anti-anxieties, and some of them are actually antipsychotics, which you tell your pharmacist, and then they because I was friends with my pharmacist.
I bet.
And yeah,
put his kid through college. It was fantastic.
I didn't go to one of the cartels, the Rite Aids, the Duane Reeds. I went to the place called the Village Pharmacy.
Yeah.
And Brian was my pharmacist, and he once asked me how I was doing. The way he asked me, I knew he meant it.
Yeah.
And I put my head on his shoulder and I wept. I wept in the Russell Stover section of the pharmacy. So I still have that kind of chocolatey, coconutty scent in my mind from that. And he took me into his office and he counseled me. Oh, it was really something. But yes, so some antipsychotics work as antidepressants and anti-anxiety. So I've taken like 24 different medications, and I list them at one point, and it was the hardest part of the show was memorizing that many antidepressants because some of the side effects is memory loss. Yeah.
But is it... You see, here's the thing, and every time that we hear somebody does something horrible, they'll go, oh, there's a mental illness thing, we need to get to people. But even when you want to do it, it's very difficult, and it takes a while to get through that.
Yes. I mean, you really need to give every medication 3 or 4 weeks to see if it's working.
And who has that when you're anxious or depressed?
Yes. So they didn't show it in the special. I just mentioned it a little bit. But I went for ketamine infusions, which is this horse tranquilizer, but in a lower dose.
Somebody just went, yeah. And this is not for party purposes.
It's an antidepressant, and it is very effective. And I will say, for an hour while I was being intervened, oh my gosh, I was out of the depression. I felt like myself, and then it would go away in an hour. And then the man said it should work throughout the week in between infusions. I can't take your money anymore, and that was devastating because it felt so good for an hour. So I tried.
But that's the only time it worked while you had the
while it was
needle in
going
your
through
arm.
my veins. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but for some people, like 60% or more, they come out of the depression, and they use it in ERs for suicide cases. Yeah, well, attempted suicide cases.
Yes. It's not going to work on a full suicide.
It's not Jesus.
Born again. That's great, man. It's you're really working it. But it seems like sometimes when your body gets used to whatever that is, it kicks out and you have to go on another drug, right?
That was the case with a lot of the medications, is they'd work for a while and then they'd stop. But my psychiatrist was the first psychiatrist who actually would give me 2 different things at the same time, and that seems to be the cocktail seems to be the champagne cocktails. Yeah. That's Godfather Part 2. That seems to be the trick, is combining them, because they join forces in a Wonder Twins type of combination. A Super Friends reference.
No.
If it wasn't for the 70s, I would have no act.
Yeah. But thank God it was so rich. You know what I mean? Culturally, it was so rich.
Yes.
But you don't have an addictive personality. Am I right about that, or?
Well, I'm trying to think, because what is this? Getting on stage 3 or 4 times a night in New York City and losing money because I have to take a lift in order to make these spots.
Yeah.
To get that rush of telling new jokes to strangers and hearing their laughter. So maybe I do have an addictive. I'm just not addicted to your methamphetamines, your heroines. I'm addicted to this.
Yeah.
This. If I could shoot this into my to my veins.
But so that's one blessing, right?
Yes.
That, you know.
Right.
Because I think most people that have that kind of stuff, they get into it from self-healing. I really believe
Definitely.
that. Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the whole reason that you're like, oh, I want to go
Yes.
smoke crack at 3 o'clock in the morning. Why?
Yes.
To feel
Yes.
better.
Yes.
That's why I want to do
Yes.
it. You know?
Alcohol. Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah.
And so you don't have that, but did you deal a lot with anxiety as well as the depression?
Yes, the anxiety was actually worse. It was more painful. It got to the point where every morning when I would wake up, it was so severe that I was biting my lip until it bled. I didn't even realize I was doing it, and then the blood would be coming down my mouth, and it was like Dracula, and that was the worst part because it was actual physical pain. I could feel it in my stomach, and I would, Jesus. That was the worst part. But the ECT knocked it out in three treatments.
You never dealt with it since? You haven't dealt with any real strong anxiety like that?
I have had certain days, like I moved back to New York in May of 2018, and I started to feel it in my stomach, and I took a Klonopin, and it went away. And then I started doing transcendental meditation, and that's been helpful. So if I'm really anxious, I will ask myself if I've meditated yet, and if I haven't, then I'll meditate. And also some vigorous exercise is helpful in that too. But I haven't gotten to the level where I'm like, I should probably be in the hospital right now. Yeah, I was going to the emergency room with it because I would call my psychiatrist and I would tell him certain things which indicated that I should be in the emergency room, and he would call ahead.
Well, that's great.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I would jump to the front of the ER.
Yeah.
And then they would put me in this like observation tankish type thing where one night I had to talk my way out so I could make a 7 a.m. flight to Denver to do shows. Meshuggah.
Yeah, here's the thing. But what I find amazing is it takes so much just to be you. You know what I mean? Like, it takes a lot to make it through your day. Then you could do your set.
Yeah.
But you ever get anxious before you get on stage? You ever have a stage fright thing?
Sometimes I'll get off stage, and maybe you have this where you get off stage and you think, oh, that's why I couldn't concentrate on anything all day.
Yeah.
I was worried about this set. I wanted to do well on the set, and I was concerned about the lighting or the audience, and I was worried that nobody would show up, and then it's over, you did well, and you're like, oh yeah, that's what was gnawing at me all day. But it's never so severe that I can't function, and there was a time when I couldn't function.
When you were downstairs, you were saying to me, is anybody here? And I'm like, should I say no? That's the first thing I thought. I go, no.
What a cruel prank that would have been. Oh my! When I saw people outside, I thought, oh good, it'll be at least 8 of us. Yeah, that's plenty.
Now, when you were inside, it was for 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks.
Say that again?
When you were inside.
Yes.
And during
inside the psych ward is what he's talking about.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that.
The booby hatch.
The nut hut.
Yeah, the bug house.
The cuckoo's nest. Now, did you say to yourself, am I ever going to get out of here? I mean, did that concern you that maybe they would keep you?
Am I ever going to get out of the psych ward?
Yeah.
No, I knew what my insurance was going to cover. I knew. Yeah. I knew 8 weeks was the max. With SAG-AFTRA insurance? Are you kidding me? I would have had to take out the entire ward to stay more than 8 weeks. Yeah.
It's literally why we have homeless people. You know what I mean? It's the entire...
Literally.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you look, you're like, when people are like, hey, if they would just get to work, you're like, look at this guy. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. Get a job? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's like, I'm comfortable right here in this box. You know, that's somebody who needs help.
But that was the type of thinking. I was so sick that there was a woman who lived on my corner, and I would think to myself, as far as this goes, this is a solid spot to be in this position. As far as there was a lot of foot traffic, so there were people giving money a lot, and it was. it was close to a lot of the trains, which I know that's helpful because it gets very cold. But I was thinking, this is where I'm heading. I can't do my jokes anymore, and I don't do well in the 9-to-5 world. And now on the other side, I'm like, well, you could have stayed at Bobby Kelly's house.
Right, yeah. Not been a homeless guy, and there's Dane Cook walking by you, lighting a cigar with $100 bill.
Right, I had friends, but I felt like such a burden. Yeah, you're not thinking straight.
No, I even when you came back and you told me what happened, because, I thought you were on the road. You know what I mean? I hadn't seen you for like a year.
Yeah.
You told me what happened. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But I guess everybody felt that way. You didn't really reach.
Joe List said, the last time I saw you, I thought was going to be the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You hear about it from people after you're out of it, that it was really that bad. My friend Amy said to me the night before I went into the hospital, she said, if you don't go, you've got maybe 4 years left. And that really hit me. I said, okay, then I'm not going to fight this anymore.
I can't imagine what shape that you were in. That anxious Joe List.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah,
That's a great point.
Never met anybody as nervous
Oh
as
my
him.
gosh, he could make coffee nervous. Yes. If you say it in a sticky tone, do you find it's less sticky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, we just beat the shit out of everybody here today. Have every comic we could think of.
I know. Yeah. But I'm so grateful for this community, though. They've been so supportive and encouraging, and people like Joe List and Bobby Kelly who have gone on and said nice things about me. It helps.
Yeah, of
It may
course.
not get me out of bed, but it makes me feel worthy. It's really nice.
And I've recently heard from some other people who have gone very, very deep. Some of a guy I consider one of the most talented fucking people working today, who was telling me that he couldn't get out of bed for a week, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe this special of yours that runs, on HBO. Maybe it's going to have more people talking, and it'll be an interesting thing for that,
Yeah, that because I didn't know whether it was ever going to become anything other than a live show. Because I was worried that if nobody was interested in showing it, that I would become depressed and sad and feel like a failure. And I put it in my head, just make these people at the live show feel a little bit better.
Right.
And if it gets on TV, then be grateful. But you're doing something positive with this nightmare of your life, and you're getting revenge on depression. And you get I was going to quit comedy. You get to do comedy. So be grateful for that and stop being so greedy about getting on television.
Well,
easy to say now.
Yeah, it is easy to say now.
Yeah.
But I think it's also really, you just use getting revenge on it. So
But don't you think so much of comedy is taking revenge on these shitty moments in your life by getting laughs off it, by you're cut off in traffic, you tell a story, well, I won that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why these stories work, because no one ever wants to hear a story about when somebody won a fight. You know what I mean? You're like, hey, I wish you were there. I beat up 2 guys.
Yes.
No one,
Oh my
but they want to
gosh.
hear anytime someone got their ass
Yes.
kicked, they're like, that's great.
Right.
Use that.
Yeah,
Use that.
I forget who it was who said the other day that young comedians talk about their victories and the older comedians talk about their losses and their vulnerabilities, and it's more compelling.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing as you get older. You found that if you have a long resume full of failures, people are like, oh, you're fascinating. You know what I mean? You were a short order cook on a tugboat. Sit down. I want to hear all about it. Or, you used to be a thief at a night auditor in a hotel. But those are the stories, Those are the stories. Those stories of all those failures. And then whatever, like now people, sometimes you find out that people find you interesting just because of certain events that you went to.
Right.
You were at Woodstock, or you saw Mike Tyson fight. You didn't realize it at the time.
Right. No, it's so true. But I'm thinking about the movie Jaws right now when they're comparing their scars.
Yes.
And it's my favorite scene.
It is one of the greatest.
Yeah.
And you're Hopefully not Quint. Who... But I will. I'll say that. I mean, I think it's remarkable, special.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm really, and like you know, for a long time, I've been a fan of your comedy.
And that's meant so much to me because
Yeah.
you're somebody I respect and admire, and that's really meant a lot to me. I keep a list of nice things that people have said when I doubt myself, which is
that right?
Every morning, and I just remember saying that your one thing was, remember, you're Nikki Glazer's favorite comedian, and Ron Bennington loves having you on his show, and extended in any time to you. So that was significant.
Well,
but I've heard you say it to Voss. So.
Yes. That's because he's heard me say it to you. The Great Depression premieres Saturday, October 5th, 10 p.m. on HBO. Congratulations to you, my friend.
Thanks, everyone.
You deserve
Thank
it all.
Thank you.